Watch this.
Man, go there in the booth.
Alright.
Alright,
We'll do a clap.
I mean, why?
So I can match them later.
Okay.
Cheers.
So I can match him later. Alright, bro. Use a puzzle.
Hi everyone. Welcome to our third episode of DREAMCORE, where I have Mr. Sunday in the podcast. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jorge Santos.
Yeah, what's your grade?
My grade, I mean, whatever.
What do you study, bro?
20. I'm 24. I graduated in 2020 from UCSB. So Santi and I go back. Way back.
We'll go back.
Oh yeah, there's a camera. I keep forgetting.
After a certain while, I just ignore it.
Yeah. Okay. No. I'm trying to. This is my first podcast. So
Aside from when we filmed.
I mean, we didn't film it, but we recorded. We recorded.
Yeah.
What is my phone? But I had I was listening to it recently and. Bro, it was like 23 minutes, bro. It's funny because that's what got us back together. It was like it was one of those sliding in a DM. It was like, hey bro, look right now, bro.
Crazy. This used to be us.
This used to be us, bro. But I guess let me switch it around. What is DREAMCORE? What's the purpose of your podcast? What's happening?
Wow. Okay. I usually ask the question. DREAMCORE is a podcast where I try to do a psychological deep dive of people's dreams with my friends. So some of that comes from studying mental health and kind of seeing some of the things that the mind attaches to.
Yeah, you're a psychologist.
I kind of fuck a degree.
You're like a neurologist now.
I did spend a lot of time studying that because honestly it was post breakup for me. I was like, damn, my mental health shit. And so I was like, all right, how can I improve that for my... And then after
It's like your bootstrap rhetoric? You were you gotta pick yourself up from your
It was my him era.
Your him era? Your himothy?
I was like, all right, we gotta it was oh man, DREAMCORE also comes from, what is it? It's another core. But
a core of a core.
It's like wholesome memes, core.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
You know, the memes that have it's Dragon Ball Z character and they have bro, you'll be okay, bro, and it's
just sweet shit, wholesome stuff. Okay.
That's where the idea for the name comes from. But yeah, anyway, diving into my mental health, I realized that it could be a good way to help people become more self-aware. So aside from doing that for myself, I was like, okay, how can I integrate it into
okay,
the label?
The label.
Yeah, the new label. And I was like, okay, what is a label? How do I redefine what that looks like in a way that kind of fits what the world looks like now, where we have if you're on any social media platform, you see hundreds of different kinds of artists, not just music dominating. And so I was like, oh, why isn't there a label that kind of intersects all the artists, and helps them not only build community, but develop their own mental health. And I was like, oh, that kind of turned into the wellness workshop stuff. But then I was like, nah, that I don't want to just be associated with wholesome and Santi the human. I wanted to do stupid shit too because I enjoy it, degenerate shit. And I was like, oh, I would love to just chat with my homies, but also know them in their dreams.
Okay.
And actually, as an update to the last podcast, it's really weird. Since I started just chatting with people about what they dream about, I started lucid dreaming, which is weird. The other night, I forgot the dream. It's all fake.
Go make it up, bro, on the spot, off the dome.
It was like, nah, I forgot what it was, but I knew that in the dream I had like the ability to decide. And the last guy I had on,
what's his name?
Brian.
Give him a little shout out, Brian.
Shout out Brian, shout out Gage. Honestly, like my favorite episode so far.
Damn, like that, bro.
I literally have.
We haven't even finished ours.
you're
like I'm fucking over.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up, bro.
No, it's cool because like he had experienced something traumatic when he was a kid.
Oh, okay.
And like I had learned in the one before that people who have very traumatic experiences will often dream them again and again as a way to like almost heal from it.
Yeah.
And then it was weird because when I brought him on, he was like, oh, like since that like traumatic experience, the reason he could lucid dream is because since that moment he's been able to decide something like a different outcome in his dream as a kid, and that kind of like pushed off for like the rest of his life, but yeah, it's just cool like talking to people. I found myself like just dreaming more consistently, lucid dreaming, weird shit, just shit I want to. I don't know if there's like I'm not one that I believe. I don't believe that like I have like access to knowledge about dreams that like makes me special. Like none of that.
You're the Neil deGrasse Tyson of dreams.
I'm not done talking.
No.
I'm just kidding. I kind of was.
Yeah, okay.
But you had a dream this last night.
Yeah.
After we got.
No, so it's funny that like you invited me to your podcast because I feel like I haven't really been dreaming too much like lately. I think I think the last time I like remember dreaming was like in May, and it kind of ties into the whole trauma shit trauma stuff.
Yeah.
Can we cuss on this? Like, but like no, I kind of want to open it up with in a funny note because you stay the night. Hey, but we went out and we stayed over, and I haven't had vivid dreams in a while, and I had them tonight, like today. And it was funny. It was like you, and like you had a kid. You had like you had like a little baby, and like it was wild because it felt so real. But like, long story short, it was like you built a table with the baby. Like
that sounds like me.
Yeah, and like. You kind of were like pushing me off like a ledge, like pretend we're like in a balcony and there's no balcony, like and then like I was like yo like back up, I need like I'm falling, and so I had to like grab the table and push it out so I could like have some space to stand, and you were like I built that table with my son, and then I woke up and then I was like oh shit like, but so anyway I don't know kids. So let's start with that. What do you say? Let's move it.
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids?
I want to jump into that dream. I want to have kids. I really want to have kids.
Do you really?
I've always wanted to be a dad. Like it sounds kind of silly maybe, but I don't know.
I want to be domesticated. I want to cook for my woman. I want to clean.
I don't clean. But whatever the rest. I've always wanted to have kids. Just because I don't know. I got just inspired from my dad.
Damn.
And my mom.
Damn.
He said damn twice. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But yeah, I always wanted to be a dad. I thought it would be cool. It is weird that, but okay, like my question though.
Dad, you're like fucked up.
I'm fucked up. It's literally how these all go.
Really?
Yeah, like.
I was just gonna say I think it's because we drank a lot yesterday. Because I feel pretty like
sick
not
one?
brain fog. No, wait, what'd you say?
Sick one.
Sick
You're
one.
in a sick one.
I'm like I said let me open it up. What the fuck? But wait, what were we talking about? Sorry.
Okay, so there's a few things in that dream.
Yeah.
That because one thing that I know is that people will remember the dreams that elicit like the most emotional reaction out of them. So you have like a fuck ton of dreams over the night, and then you'll usually only remember the one that like sparks like an emotion. So I feel like there's an emotion there in that dream. um,
you're
on the ledge. Like, are you holding on, or are you just
No,
close?
I mean, okay, that's the thing, like, because it was a longer dream, it's just that was the last thing I remember, but, like, I just thought it was silly, like, it was, I don't know, it was funny, but I don't think it had anything to do with, like, trauma, but I think, like, I think for me, like, the dreams I've been having that are, like, very, so that was just, like, a silly one, and it was funny, and I think it's funny that you wanted me to jump on this, because, like, I don't have really dreaming, but I think like in May, like last month, because it was like my mom's like anniversary, like death anniversary. He's like, can you pull like an audio like, like in the backtrack, like, pobrecito. No, but like, no, but I have these dreams where like I think she's alive, and it's such a trip because it's like it's I mean I don't know, it's like it's kind of fucked up because part of me is like really happy. And the other part of me is like kind of scared because like she was, you know, it was a difficult relationship. So it's kind of a weird where I'm like yes, she made it, and then it's like, oh fuck, you know, like like here comes, you know, but she never hit me. Like disclaimer, you know, like child. I mean, I'm too old now, but she never hit me or anything.
I could protect myself.
She's just a little, you know, like strong.
What was it the dream about? That dream you had in May?
It's always just about like seeing her, and like it's just like a regular day, like we're just, you know, it's I can't remember right now. I think it's, you know, the suppression of trauma or whatever. But no, dreams are a trip. I think one that's actually, I'm just jumping fucking dream realm. One that like I've been having since end of senior year of high school. So what, like 8 years? Yeah.
Damn.
Like that, it's a recurring one. Is one where I fail my calculus class. Like I'm failing calculus, and like I don't go to UCSB, and like, cause I remember my senior year I was taking calculus, and like I did not give a fuck at that point, you know.
Why did I
take it?
No. Why did you choose to go to UC? What are your other options?
So I got waitlisted to like San Diego, Irvine, and stuff like that. But I wanted to leave. Like I didn't want to be around.
That's what I got from your dream. That's what I was asking.
Yeah. So it was one that I wanted to leave, and then two, like I love the beach, and I've always been like attracted to the beach, and you know in LA like it's a little grimy, and it's kind of like hard to get to, and so I've always loved the beach, but it was never like that super accessible. I mean it's still there, but you know I'm not like in, I don't know, some state that doesn't have beaches.
Right.
But what's it called? Like for me with UCSB, it was like my I was waiting for it. I had applied like kind of like I chose that school like to apply. You know you could choose like the boxes.
Yeah.
It was one of the last ones, and and I got rejected by Berkeley. Berkeley was like my dream school.
Oh, me too.
And then you know
it was also my dream school.
Brain like Berkeley, could have been. But then and so my mom, I told her, I'm like, hey, like you know I'm waiting for UCSB, and she's like, oh, like, you know, it's okay, like, that school is for, like, rich kids, like, you know, like, just go to whatever, the other school.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got fucking accepted, and it was, like, the coolest experience ever. It was, like, I think the first time, like, I felt, like, really validated by my mom, like, she was just like, oh, good shit, you know? And it was just a cool experience, and I got here, and I met you, you're, like, the first person I met. Yeah, you were, like, the first person I met, like, you know, at STEP. And just meeting everyone there and going through all that and just learning a lot about myself and growing and getting fucking fat and then getting skinny.
Chunk era.
Chunk
era.
I
had that too.
That was crazy, the chunk era. I mean, like, there's still improvement, right? I can still be better, but there was a point where it was just like bad, you know? It was just depressed eating.
Gonja breathing.
Yeah, gonja breathing. Fucking, yeah, dude, just, you know, getting high and eating my feelings away in college because everything was.
I definitely went through that too. Isn't it like. That's gotta be like a first gen rite of passage, like getting fat in college.
Yeah, dude. You know? And going home and then like people talking shit.
Yeah,
it's like, damn,
like you learn all this shit like that makes you feel woke.
Yeah.
And then you come home, you're like, damn, everyone's conservative. Yeah. Like, I'm different now.
And then they're like, go to these, and I'm like, fuck.
Okay, but in that dream, so you didn't get to go to UCLA.
Yeah. So the recurrent dream. So then senior year, I'm taking calculus. And I ended up like getting like a D, right? And
in the dream.
No, in like real life, like
Oh.
IRL.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so I got a D, and like I was scared that UCSB was gonna rescind me, but they didn't care. But the thing is, like other schools were kind of like assholes about it, and they would rescind people like based off like if you got like a D or whatever. Like I know some dude who got like rescinded for getting a D, and he got rescinded from UCR. Like,
damn.
you know. So I was like, damn. Like, so I was like shitting bricks. You know, thankfully Santa Barbara didn't rescind me.
So there was the possibility.
There's a possibility, and so I always have that fear. And like, so the recurring dream is that like I wake up in the dream, and in the back of my head I'm like, oh shoot, I'm taking a math class. Like I haven't been going to class. I haven't been doing the homework. Like how am I'm failing? Like fuck. Like I start panicking really bad. So it becomes kind of like a mix of, because you know in high school you were kind of forced to go to class and all that stuff, and in college you could do whatever you want.
Decide.
Yeah, and so it's like it blends it where I'm like, oh my god, I've been ditching class, like I haven't been going, and I have a final, and
but it's okay.
And no, it's not okay because I'm failing.
I thought it was like mixed, like.
Well, mixed in the sense that like in college, you know, you could ditch and you know you could.
No consequences.
Yeah, and like it was more of like, oh my god, I just haven't been going to class.
Just guilt.
Yeah, like I just haven't been going to class, and like I just remembered I'm taking a class. Or like in high school, it's like you go to that class and you know you're failing.
Yeah.
And it's more of like, oh shit, like I need it, like you know, so I start panicking.
Yeah.
And I start like it gets pretty bad. Like and then I am like, holy fuck, like. My job is gonna fight. Like I just started thinking all these crazy things.
You were working at that time in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
At the taqueria. Yeah. But no. But like just because it like my dream blends everything. Like it's a recurring dream of failing math and how it's gonna destroy my life at that point in time. You know what I mean? And it's like so.
What would have happened,
bro?
If you didn't, if you were
stayed,
rescinded?
Dude, I don't even want to think about that. Like it makes me like it's scary because. I know I have the dog in me, and like I would have, you know, like I would have pushed through and all that, but like I don't know. I think getting out of like home and then coming here, like being independent, I think was super. Like I feel like I've always been independent, like growing up and whatnot, but like being actually independent, like when I moved like here, like to UCSB, like it was just whatever fit in my car by myself, you know, like I didn't have anyone help me out.
Really?
Like, yeah. And like, and family didn't really visit me. Like, my mom came to visit once, like my sophomore year.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, ever she only visited me once, like on campus.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like I left home and I needed to leave home to like grow and be myself. And so it scares me to think like if I just stayed home, like would I have gotten comfortable?
What would have happened? What do you think? Like being the person you are though. What would have happened if you did stay home? Like.
I would have probably gone to CC and then like transfer out. And
so
then
you still find your way.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with CCs. I think just for me, because I think I've always felt like I didn't belong at home because, you know, my mom kind of essentially adopted me. Yeah. And so like, and things were getting kind of like rough, like my senior year, like we were like clashing like hard. Like, you know.
So maybe that's why there was more anxiety in that.
Exactly, that too.
Because it was like if I didn't go and we're clashing a lot.
Yeah, no, it was bad. Because anytime I'd come home, well, like to my mom's, like you know, like I'd bring her flowers. I was like, it was like I did love her, and you know, but it's just our relationship was never like what I wanted it to be, and so I feel.
What did you want it to?
Like you know, like the traditional, you know, like the how are you doing? Like I love you. Know, she wasn't like that. It was very like. Not transactional. It wasn't like because there's nothing she was trying to get from me. It was more of like she had her own things to worry about.
Cordial.
Like it was pretty cordial, yeah. Like it was like you know like I hear from her friends. She was always like you know like good morning like
yeah.
But you were there at the the funeral. Wait, no, you weren't there at the funeral procession. No, you were at the church thing.
Yeah, the church.
Yeah, but procession. I don't even know that's the word, but no. Anyway, like it just wasn't like Yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't very like I don't know, like
so
traditional.
You felt like you got a side of her that no one was really seeing, or
yeah, I mean, I think cause like I technically was like her first kid, cause she started taking care of me around 27, bro. So like at 2 years and have a fucking 4-year-old on you, and I was an annoying ass kid too, like as a kid, you know, like so because I was born here in the U.S., right? And then I moved to Mexico, and then I came back when I was like 5. and I was still wearing diapers. I was still like using a bottle, and like the first thing she did is like, nah, fuck that, and then so no wait. So my point too, like, is I go home, but anytime we'd be together for too long, like we would clash, cause it was always like these expectations she has, and and for me it's like I've always kind of like, oh, but it's like I don't know, like it just never worked, and so I'm scared if I would have stayed longer, it would have just been really bad, and I think it would have been really hard, because I think the luxury of like going to school and all that, like you it forces you to kind of set yourself up, and you know what I mean. I feel like if from like out the get go, I'm like, it's like, yo, move out, like that would have been a mission, like
dude,
like,
I can't imagine.
So I think about that a lot, and like, and it's nothing against like CCs or anything. I just don't know if I really needed to get the fuck out, and like that was what There's this Kevin Abstract song. I think it's called Echo, and then it's like he's like he ran away from home, and like it's this idea, and I feel like that's what I essentially did, but I never really had a home type of thing, so it was more of like, I think
even though it was complicated, like least to say, but in a way, like, just because that's where you had like so much of your life, like it was a home. I don't want to define that for you though, but I see that it has an effect just because you were there for a long time.
Like walks out of the fucking podcast.
Everyone drops like glasses. We're done.
We're done, bro. We're done. Get that shit. No, I mean I think, like, I get what you mean. There was.
Why'd you stand up?
My pants are like. They were like
wedgies.
Yeah, wedgie, a little wedgie. No, there was this freshman year. So I was part of this group called the Guardian Scholars. I like to call it like the orphan club, like we out here, And we had this dude. I think his name is Antoine Fisher. Okay. Don't quote me on that. But he has like a movie. He was like a director, but like in the movie's kind of about him.
Oh.
And so he was like former foster youth, or like it was like a weird situation. And I remember I asked him, because essentially like he came to talk to us, and he was telling us how like he grew up like on his own, and like on the streets, and like his parents were there or whatever. And then one day he asked he found out that his mom or his dad like was around the whole time, like nearby, like
no way.
Like he was struggling and shit, and like he didn't know who his parents were, and then he found them, found out who they were, and they were like around the corner or something like that, right?
That's fun.
And so he goes, he's an adult now. He goes to them and he goes, hey, like why didn't you like come for me, or like whatever. And then the mom or whatever is like, or the dad is like, frankly, I just didn't feel like it, And so so I asked him about that, and so I asked him in terms of like when people say like mom or dad, like, and the way he put it to me, which is kind of the way I see things or explain to things, it's like when someone says mom or someone says dad, like people already have like a preconceived notion of what that is based on their experience,
and what it means.
So so when I say mom or dad, you think of your mom and dad, and your mom and dad, at least from my understanding, like they're pretty, like they're cool, they're supportive, they have their faults like everyone, but like they're super supportive. Whereas like for me, like it was on a different level, you know what I mean, in terms of like support and love and all that. But and so same thing with the home part. Like for me, it was like every time I was home, I felt like I hated it. That's why I was always trying to be on hanging out with friends or whatever. And like just because when I was home, I felt miserable. I couldn't really talk at home and stuff like that.
What would happen when you tried to talk?
I just got like shut down. I never got hit or anything. Fucking like social services. No, I never got hit. It was just kind of like, if someone doesn't want you to talk, they'll make it known that they don't want you to talk.
Oh,
or like
totally,
beef.
They don't even have to say it.
And then you kind of pick up on it. So it's crazy because like I feel like for like the early part of my life, at home I was like I wouldn't really talk because I whatever. But then at school I'd always be talking, and so that's why I always get in trouble with stuff. And that's why I'm so thankful with friends, and that's why I just be talking randomly. Like I noticed lately that the day after a party, like everyone's like hungover, fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, man, like such a nice day, like got a lot of sun. Everyone's just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, not right now,
Yeah.
But I think so. So that question of like what Marvel's the what ifs, like
that's your what if.
Yeah, that's my what if I would have stayed. I don't know how I would have managed, because I think too long didn't read. It's like being able to leave gave me the space to grow on my own and like feel like for myself and not necessarily. I mean, I was always thinking about back home, and I feel that's like a whole other thing, right? But being able to think about myself and when I would come home, I could come home and think of home independently or home in that sense, you know. Whereas like if I stayed, I would just been like bitter and like hated everything. You know what I mean?
I do get the sense that like had you stayed, you would have definitely still found your way out. It probably would have looked different, you know, and who knows the kind of path.
But it's scary to think, bro.
But I know, like, well, two things. One, last year when we were living together, I definitely.
Dang, gonna air me out right now. YouTube.com.
No, last year when we were living together, and I remember it was very difficult for me to answer the phone when my parents or when somebody called. You know, and I had this whole like thing that happened to me as a kid that I'm actually like writing a film about.
Oh really?
Yeah, like that's my way of processing.
Is it like gonna be like a porno? Like, hey, I'm stuck.
But anyway, I remember the day you're like, fool, just pick up the fucking phone, and I was like, no, bro, like when I was a kid, I had this drama, and that's one thing I'm grateful for though. Like living with you did help me kind of like have that appreciation, you know, for at least my.
You're like living with an orphan boy. You're like
yeah, bro. Well, not just that because my brother is also adopted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have a brother. He's also adopted.
What's his name, bro?
Eduardo. Shout out Eduardo. You good? You cool? I miss you. I love you.
I have a brother named Eduardo too.
That's right. Yeah. I met him.
Yeah. He kind of looks like you guys kind of look like each other.
I'm kidding.
Where are you checking?
Damn, why'd I do that? I really checked my own. Anyway, it did help me understand his perspective a lot more. Yeah. You know, I think. I don't want to speak for him. Actually, I would actually love to have him on and talk to him and have a whole different conversation. But
his people are going to talk to your people.
Yeah, we'll get in contact. Yeah, it helped me at least appreciate my parents a lot in that aspect, and in a weird way, it did help me like realize, because like now I was kind of thinking like, okay, like sure, this moment in my life happened where there's like a weird phone call and you know. Coincidence just like mashing.
Yeah.
And that was it. Definitely made it hard to answer the phone, but I realized like in some of that like mental health tour, I realized like a lot of the like unhealthy or like negative things that people do, they do because they also benefit from them, and they actually mostly benefit from the unhealthy thing that they do, right? Like it offers them something. So for me. If there was like a hard conversation to have with my parents, or maybe they needed to like me to like pay something I owe them or something, I could just default to that traumatic experience.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And be like, oh well, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And that would also like actually draw out the emotion of that fear.
Yeah.
So it was very real. But now like looking back and seeing how that plays out, I'm like, oh, like I was actually just benefiting from not having that conversation.
I see what you mean. Yeah, like you kind of associate the two things together, where it's like something like bad happened, but then it's also like let's say responsibilities or whatever.
Yeah.
And because you put them together, then it makes this one worse because of that. But then this one is like you like separate them, right? Like learning to separate.
It's learning to separate, and in a strange way, that was also how I got over. Like feeling like a victim in my life, you know, because I realized like, oh shit, a lot like even identifying and like having like the sob story of being undocumented, like
it's not a sob story.
No, it is.
No, it's not. It
because
sucks, dude.
Yes, it sucks, but I let it define too much of my life. You know, like in many ways, identifying with that, I created more obstacles for myself. Like there was a lot of things I just assumed I couldn't do because I was undocumented, like starting a business. You know, I thought that was impossible, and I just had assumed it literally for 25 years of my life. And then this year I sat down and I was like, no, like there's a way.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, but I mean, I still think it's like I don't like it's like it's an obstacle, you know, like it's hard, and it's like I think I mean. Like that's like a legal obstacle, you know what I mean? Like it's not even
it's not psychological.
like yeah, like
well, it is psychological too, though.
I get what you mean, right? Like not kind of like victimizing yourself in a sense.
Yeah.
But I also think like it is tricky, you know? It's like it's like it's a lot. Like there's different ways around it, but I also don't think you should sell yourself short in the sense of like you know, like I don't think you fucking you use that as a card. Like I never been like, hey Santi, you're like I'm gonna document it, bro. Like,
yeah.
But like you know, I think it's like that is a very valid. Like if you said like, oh I'm an orphan and I can't start a business, it's like what?
Huh? Just not matching up.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I think I
see what you're saying.
Your situation like that should like legally like
it's legally
different,
but.
Or it's difficult.
It's difficult. At the same time, like I guess what I'm really trying to say is like, you don't pick like.
You're not documented anymore. You're
I'm legal now. As of this moment.
You're announcing.
You don't pick the cards you're dealt with at the beginning of life.
Okay.
And if you don't play them, then you're just gonna be in like analysis. What is it? Paralysis.
Yeah. No, yeah. I speaking. I've been having a lot of like bad paralysis. Like I just got off like a really bad like paralysis.
Like what kind?
Like just a light kind of like a. So I think for me, I'm like a functioning depressed person. You know, like I can. Yeah. Like you know me, like I mean, I think it's also because I don't really have anyone, so it's like I have to. If I don't survive, like I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like if I don't like keep things afloat, like it's really hard for me to like go to a family member. I mean, I did crash at my sister's place for a month.
Oh, graduation.
No, my older sister.
Oh, okay.
I crashed at her place for a month because I was waiting for this lease to start because when I moved to Santa Barbara. But no, my point is like I always have to do enough to like
survive.
Yeah. But like 2 months ago, a month ago, like yeah, May would fuck me hard. But
really,
I didn't have my Adderall because I'm prescribed.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
medicine.
And I didn't have my Adderall, and so I was off of it for like 2 months, bro. 2-3 months, like that.
Yeah.
And like that's the longest I had been without it.
What was that like?
Horrible.
Did you dream more?
Let's bring it back to no, but I mean, I kind of did, but I think I was also just like trying to like medicate with like weed. So it was like a weird.
Weed is a tricky thing.
It's a tricky thing. Yeah, we talked about this, like the fog, and then you get all like, you know, all like groggy the next day. Like, like it's. I like it. Like one thing I learned is I like it when to listen to music, to like eat and stuff. But I think with music especially, like it's fucking beautiful. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like
8D audio.
Fucking what's it called? Is it spacious or spatial?
Yeah, it's 8D audio. It's like the thing that.
It's like the audio.
There's 8 dimensions.
But 8D. I thought you said A, like A. But remember 8D. Yeah.
ADHD.
No, but
Okay, so you're off.
Oh, dude, yeah, and it got so bad. Like I'd work. I'd wake up early, grind out for a few hours, and then like I just paralysis. Like I just was depressed. I couldn't do anything.
You'd be like in bed.
Like dude, I'd be on this couch right here, just like fuck, I can't do anything. Like it was so bad.
Oh,
like it got to the point like
frozen.
Yeah, like it got really bad. Like I literally called my manager. Like my manager's super supportive, and I called them and I was like, hey, you know, I just wanted to be like straight up. Like I haven't been giving it like my best. Like I haven't been giving it all. Like and like I started crying because it was just like I don't like it's not that I hate working or that like it's all that like I feel more useful and productive when I'm doing shit. And the fact that I couldn't do shit, I just felt horrible, you know? I felt like, and then it was also like my mom's like, you know, death anniversary and stuff. So I was just like spiraling. Yeah, so I was just like spiraling, bro, and it was so bad. And so the paralysis to piece, it's like, it fucking sucks because you have all these ideas or you know you can do all this stuff. And there's nothing physically wrong with me, you know? Like, I'm able-bodied.
It's all a mental thing.
It's all mental and it's fucked, dude. It's so fucked. So.
Oh, man, I've gone through like similar periods, but This one for you, I think, does sound like especially hard.
It was probably like the worst. Like
Yeah.
I hit points that I hadn't hit in like since I was a kid. You know.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
What
But-
helped you get out of that?
Honestly, like my
Place.
friends. Hey, shout out my friends.
Shout out.
My ditto friends, Santa Barbara. Like they were just really supportive through it, and like they were. I feel like one thing I was like missing was like consistency with people. I feel like we had it, and that's why I was sick when because we would always just chill out, we'd watch TV, you know, fuck around, you know. And I feel like then we got into a little beef, you know. Next podcast, the beef. No, but like and then like I had other people, but then I think I was just focusing on like other things and like talking to like people that weren't really good people, but like they were there, but like. And it was fun, but like they were not like
dry friendship.
You know what I mean? Like it was just kind of like one-sided type of thing. And then I came here and I joined like the group and played soccer, and I realized like like you know they're really fun. They have these big ideas too. You know they're really genuine. They're really sweet and they're really accepting. And you know they're never dicks. You know like even bantering like. They're not like mean, you know. Like, and even when they are, they'll kind of like clarify, like, "Hey, that was a joke, by the way," you know. Like,
wow.
Yeah, like stuff. They're so sweet.
White people.
Yeah, white people. They're so sweet, and like it's I don't know. And but the thing is, it's like I feel like it's this like group. I feel like it's not just all. I mean, I feel like a lot of people in Santa Barbara are cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what kind of helped me get out of it. Like you know, and also just getting drugs again.
Yeah.
Like getting my Adderall, like again, like it just helped me, and then just routines too, like. Every morning, except for this morning, but like I wake up early as fuck. I like clean whatever needs to be clean, put away, make my bed.
Yeah, you've always been on top of that.
Yeah, but like that's when like I'm on it, and I gotta do it. Like if I stop if like my whole flow fucks up.
It's strange that like what took you out of the paralysis was really movement. You know.
Yeah.
Like that's like
just doing like little things. Like it wasn't. And during the paralysis, it was like, like my bed, like my room was a mess, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I just couldn't like even think about picking anything up. Like it was insane. Yeah. And so now I just try to stay on top of it so it doesn't build up and I don't get overwhelmed. Yeah. I'll eat oatmeal just like every day, like kind of what you did. Yeah. And that's what you're talking about, like just eating the same thing, you know, like.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, and it's like comfort and like. I don't feel hungry, you know, because like sometimes if I overthink it, I just don't eat anything.
It becomes for me like the reason.
He looks at the camera.
Cause I was like, is the timer? For me, the reason I love eating the same shit every day, and it's like people hear me and they're like, "What the fuck?" You know, but I fucking love it. Like Bobby mixing weird shit, you know, like mayo and like fucking olives and shit.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
eggs and fucking tomato sauce. It just hits like for me, and it offers, I think, because I resonate in the aspect that like if I don't have or create something consistent for myself, then I'm gonna explode.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go in every part of the. But like for me, like what a low point looks like is me trying to like avoid doing nothing. So I'll max out I'll become manic.
And you like burn out.
Yeah, like I'll like I remember it happened one time, I think like my first week at the house. Mm-hmm. You weren't in yet. I don't know where you were.
I think I was in Europe.
Something like that.
Hey, my mom.
He's a European. Ciao. But yeah, like a few days before, I remember just feeling this deep anxiety. And the way that I wanted to cope with it was just like, I remember I had a bunch of like ice cream and I just played video games all day, and then I was like, but I couldn't play a video game and enjoy it. Like I was playing it to distract myself from this ugly feeling.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't do this, and I put on a show. 15 minutes in the show, I switched the show, switched it again, and like I tried to do everything, and then eventually, this is wild. I learned this through like therapy, but my therapist was like, he's like, so when you have anxiety, it seems like throughout your life you've been like seeking out dealing with that anxiety by like inflicting pain on yourself. Damn, and I was like, why would I do that? Then I have to think like, oh, how do I benefit from that? In this moment, that 1 week when I was at the house before you were there, I had like all this sugar and stuff, and like my body started hurting from the sugar, like just so much, you know, and like
the indulgence.
Yeah, and that kind of relaxed me. It was weird, and Yeah, I guess like a reason that I had been like seeking out pain was that for me, like when I was growing up, my parents didn't really know how to express like that they love me. They barely started saying it like in the last year when I had to like be like, oh, I have to say it, you know, and then it kind of inspired them to say it back, and I was like, whoa, I've never heard them say that, you know. And so affection has always been like tricky, and especially like physical connection, you know, like it wasn't really there. And so as a kid, I through painful experiences that we had as a family, that's how we would bond.
Ah, I see what you mean.
So, cause like when one of us went through something really hard,
this bitch be eating ice cream.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like I'm like, oh, I'm coping with pain by like trying to just, cause yeah, like when I was a kid, some shit would happen. And then we'd all kind of like
ice cream,
just be together, or watch a movie, or you know, just indulge as a way to kind of like relax and like what's the saying? What's the
reset?
Not reset. Regulate the body. Like I realized the body needs to be regulated. And what the fuck? What?
Regulate.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, one like major lesson for me.
You said, why are you laughing? You're like, I'm saying what my therapist shared.
I'm ruined. Yeah, like, if you don't regulate, if you're not conscious about how you're gonna regulate your body, it'll wanna regulate itself still.
You said like regulate like 20 times.
Fuck. Say it 50.
It's gonna be put it like a regulate counter. Regulate.
Just a big time. Every time I say it, alright, I will do that.
Regulate. Wait, no, break it. So, my bad. This was not gonna be your favorite one.
Drop my gent.
And you're like, hey, bro, that shit wasn't recording. Actually, bro, it got deleted. So,
yeah.
Okay, it's interesting that you say it at regulate.
Say a different word.
Okay.
I don't want to hear that word.
Okay, let's bring it back. Okay. I think it's interesting that you talk about like pain as like a way. Like I think I guess I understand it more. Like so when I'm like depressed too, I like binge eat. Like that's what I do. Like I'll like fucking order DoorDash. Like that's my
yeah.
Like it's like yes, give me the extra toppings, and it's like and like I'll do it to like get that dopamine. And then I feel gross and disgusting.
Yeah.
But I also feel sometimes like or when I know it's kind of just a little rut. Like I know like okay like today sucks. I'm just gonna cancel today. Whatever.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we start again. I'll like overindulge or do something like that to get fucking sick to be like ugh fuck that and then like I can like start again.
You have to hit like the lowest point.
Yeah.
To like really go on the.
Yeah, like I one of my friends, shout out Luis Garcia.
You know
Luis.
He gave me a graphics card, like a fucking
really?
nice one.
Oh
dude.
fuck yeah. He I remember once like he doesn't. What's funny is like he doesn't remember this, but when we were in high school, I remember I got hurt or something, and he's like. For things to get better, they have to get worse. And I was like, huh? Like what? And I was like, it's some philosophy shit.
Yeah.
But then I get it now. Like for things to get better, they have to get worse. You know, like things need to be like at a low point. I mean, like you know, one way to interpret it is like they have to be at a low point to get back to a high point. So like even when like shit's like like coming down, like take that as like a moment for you to get better. You know, like you know, because things can't get better if they're at the best. You know, so. If it's shitty, it's only one way up, you know?
That's true. There's a part of it that, like, does disagree. Because, like... Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. So, like, when you regulate...
No. When, I don't think that they have to get so low.
Okay, maybe not the lowest. I guess that's my interpretation of it. Like,
cause I used to live as like similar, where it was like so low, and so I can reach a super high.
Yeah.
You know, and but I was almost like always on these extremes.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd be really good for some time,
and
then like shit for like a long time, and really, you know, but it was definitely these extreme highs and extreme lows, and I think part of regulating my body has been like kind of doing the small things every day.
Yeah.
Like the same food,
Yeah.
you know, like maintenance.
Maintenance.
Really.
Maintenance.
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 Every day has kind of helped me kind of regulate.
Not too much.
So annoying.
No, yeah, exactly. So like now what I do is like the little shit, and there's days where I wake up and I'm like, damn, this ain't it. But I'm like, nah, dude, like just like a little bit, you know?
You know, I always think about when you were telling me we'd go running.
Yeah.
You're like, isn't it weird that like some days we're a little heavier and some days it's a little lighter, but it's the same run.
I said that?
You said that to me. And I thought about that and I was like, oh, this is what we're talking about right now.
Oh.
Like, it's your body. Some days it does feel heavier, some days it feels lighter.
Yeah.
But it's the same shit.
But yeah, and it's not even like just to clarify. I guess for the run, it is. I feel like on a physical sense, or I guess it's a mental sense, right? Mainly like
because we talked about it possibly being gravity, and I was like, I don't think gravity's changing on a day-to-day basis.
I don't think that. No, but yeah, I'll wake up and I'll feel fucking like I could conquer the world and you know all that. And some days I just don't like. Sometimes I just feel sad, and sometimes it's not because I'm an orphan or it's not because of a girl. It's just I just feel sad for some reason. I can't really explain it.
Yeah.
And then like
those are the worst.
Yeah, but like I've learned. I mean, it's not some bootstrap rhetoric, but I learned that if I just push a little bit, like I think just trying like a little bit as much as I can. So sometimes if I wake up, I'm like, damn, like I don't feel like doing shit. I'm like, dude, come on, make your bed, like wash the dishes real quick, and then I kind of get in the groove again.
Yeah.
But like just I don't know, just doing the little things and understanding that you know, just trying to be better than the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to be the best in the sense, you know, just like again. So my manager once told me he was like, you know, it's about being better, like the next, you know, like being better than the day before. Being you know, it's like it's never about being like the best or this is gonna be perfect. Because it's not sustainable, you know. At least it's like so just doing a little bit more than the day before and like kind of just you know just scaling in a way like that. Because I think sometimes I'm such a like I have this idea of myself and who I am and what I should be doing. And like when I don't
what's
read
your perception of yourself?
I'm a prodigy. I'm the chosen one.
Different guy.
Yeah, bro. I'm just like I feel like.
What's like an honest percent? Like I want to hear the good and like the bad ways that you see.
I'm just like I'm not like other guys, you know. I think like the different experiences, good or bad, that I've had in life have provided me with a very unique perspective of the world and of just how to go about it, and so. I don't think I'm better than everyone in that sense. Like I don't think I'm better than everyone. But I do think like I know more shit that others don't, and it's not like number. It's not like that type of shit, you know. But I think I've been in a bunch of different little worlds, and I don't know. So like, and then so I feel like I'm destined for great things, you know. But it's just like I don't know. Like I want to leave a mark. And not in some weird like here's a building, you know, just like be able to like when I die, people to be like, oh, I remember that guy, you know, like he's a cool guy. Like
he sold me this product.
He sold me this product. Yeah. Under the link, the comment section, you'll see. No, but I think so it's this that and so I also have this idea. Fuck, my voice is kind of fucked.
Yeah, mine fixed.
Yeah. You know, I was gonna say I have this idea that like I always should be doing something. I always need to be like doing the next big thing.
Yeah.
And not big thing to what other people think, but like to what I think. You know, like you know, like. And I think after graduation, it was a little weird because I didn't have like we lost that kind of guidebook. You know, because it's like
got like outside force.
Yeah, because it was like because before like you're in middle school, it's like high school. You're in high school, it's college.
Yeah.
You college, you get a job, and then I felt like I kind of checked those boxes, and after college, you know, and I have a really good job, and like I'm really grateful like where I'm at, and I feel like I'm always kind of like trucking up.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I haven't been I don't feel fulfilled in like
a spiritual sense.
Not even a spiritual sense. I want to say like in an artistic sense, but like I'm not an artist. You know what I mean? Like, but in a sense of like I want to do something that's creative and that's fun, and it doesn't have to be like me drawing something because I know I can't draw. But I want it to be in the sense of like my brains, using my
I would
brain.
say,
You know what I mean?
something to that. Be wary of telling yourself that you're not an artist. Be wary of saying you can't draw. Be wary of telling yourself you can't do anything.
Be wary.
No, be wary.
Be wary.
Because what's happening in that moment in your mind is you're choosing an identity for safety, right? So like your identity is that you're not an artist, that you don't have this ability, right? And you're choosing it, right, as a way and the way you're benefiting from that is like, oh, I don't have to try.
Well, yeah, okay, so yeah, I guess because you asked, no, because you asked like, how do you see yourself, like, and I think that's where I'm at right now.
I see.
But like I don't like I want to be more, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not more like. I mean, like, it's not more in, like, oh, I want to make more money, or, oh, I want more, like, stuff.
It's not about that.
Yeah, it's, like, a bigger thing, and I don't know how to, like, articulate it, and I don't know. And so, I guess what I'm saying, like, oh, I'm not an artist type of thing, it's, like, that's what I'm not right now, but it's something that I think I want to look towards, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what format that would look like.
Isn't that beautiful? No, really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Maybe someday in the future, looking back, you'll listen to this and you'll think, oh, I didn't know that I was gonna be like this great piano player.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I should have regulated. No, but yeah. So I mean, fuck. I feel like I could have planned this a little bit better. I should have. But I think too long didn't read. I always want to be doing something that's different. And I want to always be, like, around people, like, with friends.
Yeah.
I think my fear is getting old, and I feel like a lot of people get old, and then they're just kind of, it's either with a significant other, they're just kind of,
Like, that's it. No
that's
real
it.
connection.
Fuck that, yeah. Like, I want to keep this going, for as long as I can, and I feel like it's cool, because, like, the group I've met in Santa Barbara, like, they're like that, too. Like, they're very, like, social-based, and, like, I don't know, because growing up, it was just kind of lonely, so I don't want to do that again anymore. So
the void you want to fill is loneliness?
Not necessarily loneliness. It's just more of a Kevin Parker, Tim Impala.
Yeah.
It's one guy, right? But
I didn't know this.
It's just one guy, Kevin Parker. But I remember I was listening to an interview where he talks about, like, loneliness and being alone. And how, like, you can be in a room full of people, but you can still feel alone,
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like, like, in college, too, like, there was a lot of people around me, but I always felt alone. Whereas, like, now, it's something I still struggle with. It's not, like, I don't think it's, like, oh, now I don't feel alone ever, It's, like, there's still days where, like, I'm with people and I'm, like, oh, I don't feel like I'm...
What do you do when you feel that and you're around people and you start feeling that way?
I go home. I'm just kidding.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. No. I guess, I mean, what do you do?
What do I do when I feel alone? And I have this weird thing where, like, I like to people please.
Mm-hmm.
So the, like, anxiety crawl up and then, like, my mania starts crawling up again. The same thing that makes me eat a lot of chocolate or whatever.
Yeah.
And so instead of, like, listening to the feeling, I'll, like, dive into this person's brain.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll ask a bunch of questions. Like, I'll, like, interview them almost. Yeah. And, I mean, I started to realize that's not who I want. Like, if I don't feel like being there, I would like to, moving forward, like, just take space to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I think it can be hard for me to acknowledge at first. Like, and then I don't know if there's, like, a healthy solution. I'm scared for some reason to communicate that feeling with people around me. Like, in that moment, like, hey guys, I feel alone right now.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're here.
Because then it kind of sounds like you want attention, but it's not necessarily that.
Yeah, it's not that,
Because you can have attention, but it's like,
you
still, like, I feel that a lot, and it sucks. And I think one thing I learned, it's like, I'm just gonna be eternally melancholic, Like,
sad boy.
Yeah, like
Mr. Something.
Yeah. Like, I just think, I don't know, like, I'm always, like, sad about something, and it's not that I want to be sad, but it's just I'm like sad. Like, I just can't control it, and like therapy and all that shit. It's great stuff, Ooh, thumbs down. Someone's like, I was following until he said that. No, like I there's different things I could do to grow and stuff. But I guess to answer your question again, it's like I feel that I'm coming to a point again in my life where I'm feeling ambitious and like hungry and like happy and like I want to move forward instead of like what I've been doing. I feel like these past 3 years since the pandemic, which is a lot of like internal, you know, like conflict and just trying to like what the fuck am I, you know,
feel like you're on your feet again.
Exactly, yeah, and it feels nice, and it's like you know, like last Sunday I had I started this thing called Club Santos.
I saw it, yeah, it was cool.
It was sick as fuck, yeah. It was like 5 of us, and the way that this happened was because in the way that you know how like you eat ice cream with
yeah.
Like I like running helps me regulate.
Okay.
It helps me because it helps me chill the fuck out, you know, and it helps me think and.
You feel better about yourself when you run?
Yeah, I feel better about myself when I run. Like, you know, like when I don't run, I'm like, damn, like I'm unhealthy, like all that. But then I run one day and I'm like, damn, I'm back, baby. Like, let's go, you know. I've been having like foot problems, but anyhow. So I went on a run and I was thinking about like I wanted like have a space where we could talk about music and you know like and I know people here in Santa Barbara are down and. It was my friend Nick Apple. Shout out Nick Apple. Yeah. He's like, bro, like even like if like I'll come, like even if it's just us. And I'm like that meant a lot. Awesome. Yeah, he's so sweet and supportive. Yeah. And so I was like, fuck it, like I'll post it on and then see who's down to come. And like a lot of people were like, oh, like I'm so interested, but like I just can't. Like you know, they're busy. I did. Nice. And so there's people that were down and went up. But regardless of that, I think like me just putting it out there, like it was like you know like. It was a lot for me to like just kind of do it and commit to it.
Wait, why?
Because the way my brain works, it's like sometimes it's so hard for me to commit. Like, for example, for San Francisco, I didn't message you until this week.
Yeah.
Not and like I knew I was going, but I just was like, my brain is kind of like I don't know. It's like I was gonna go, but I was like I don't know why. Finally, that's why I texted you. I was like, hey, like Saturday, what are you doing? You know, like it was like, and so same thing with this. I just kind of had to just let it go, like just. Like and do it. Kind of that's what I was telling you yesterday about like I think with your art, like you kind of hold on to it. Like you're gonna fucking hold on to this video for like a year, but you hold on to it, right? And then you can't let it go. And sometimes you just gotta let it go to see where it goes and learn from it. You know.
That's really what it is. Like, for sure for me, I've learned that like my relationship, like I said yesterday, like my relationship with art is about. Just being okay with failure more and more and kind of trusting that all I'm really doing with art is just like expressing myself at the end of the day. And it can get weird because like you know, for years of my life I had repressed the part of me that wanted to make money and a career out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, bro, like art should be art, you know, like you shouldn't be fighting capitalism, you know, like I had like this almost like guilt like selling myself short again, you know, and not putting like a price on something that I did work hard on, especially. So, learning to be okay with like something that, the real paralysis is like the attempt to try to be perfect.
Yeah.
So when you try to be perfect, and like something's off, all you're really doing is just putting your life on pause.
Yeah,
your art, 100%. Your direction, your progress.
Yeah, and like I feel like that's with me. Like it's this idea that things need to be perfect, and I don't even know what perfect is. Cause I haven't like at least for me, like because you've done shit, like you've done projects, you've done stuff. I've never done anything, and so I have this paralysis of one that I haven't done anything, and then two I don't know what is what because I've never done anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this Club Santos. You know, it's like it was kind of my way of like let me just do something, you know, even if it's just me, fuck it, like me and my friend, like let's do it, and it was so cool. Like we had 5 people, we all gathered around. I had like a little whiteboard, and you know we would do like I kind of like off the dome. I was like, all right, let's do like a little presentation of like. You know, like what the song means to you, like where you got it, dude, and so everyone got like really like deep and like. I talked about like I'll do like an example. So like there's this song by Zoe, like they're a band from Mexico, from El DF, and now there's a song called No Hay Mal Que Dure.
I love that song.
Yeah, dude, and like that song, like for one, like the meaning means a lot to me, and then two. So how come? No, like put it here. How come? But no, it was like so one, it's like that album is fucking beautiful. I love that album, Azatlan. And like,
I'm hearing it in my head as you're talking.
Yeah, and it's that song, it's like it's one of those songs. It's kind of like Good News by Mac Miller, you know, where at least for me, it's like when I hear it, it makes me really like, because it was around the time like my mom was sick, and you know, so it was one of those songs I would listen to kind of get myself like going. And so like the lyrics and like, you know, the idea of like, you know, no hay mal que dure, like bad things don't last. And you know, he's saying it too from the perspective of like his mom telling him, you know, like he's like mi mamá me decía no hay mal que dures más de 100 años. Yeah. But he starts off the song with saying, like, it's, at least from my understanding, it's like as if his mom is like telling him like, hey, like, you know, it's okay to be different. It's okay, you know, if the other people are the same, like, you know, you're gonna like you're different, like it's all right. And I think for me, like that, so so there's two parts, right? There's like the meaning and then like the sort of situation. So I'll start off with the situation. Yeah. So dude, I fucking jump around like crazy.
No, I like hearing this.
Yeah, but no, like because okay, so with my mom, like she was really sick, and it was like a Saturday, and I went back to LA. I was going back to LA every weekend. Yeah. And then she was like
from Santa Barbara.
Yeah, like every fucking man. Dude, that summer was insane, bro. I was working 40 hours Monday to Friday, and then I'd go to LA over the weekends, and I'd work another 20 hours as a waiter.
I'm just gonna take a pause and say you've gone through a lot.
But honestly, like it's kind of weird. I miss those dog days, you know, where I was just like on one. Like every hour of my life was scheduled. It was like, okay, I got work. Okay, I gotta do homework. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go on a run. Okay, I gotta like eat something. You know what I mean?
I hear that, and at the same time, like I wish that you could also rest. You know, I'm sure you're finding your balance.
Yeah, no, and I think now like that's the thing where like, or like after you know she passed away, like there in the pandemic, there's a lot of rest and like I didn't
know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. So and then like if I don't have things to do, kind of like what you're saying, like if I don't like know what I'm gonna eat or like if I'm not eating the same thing, like I get lost because then I just kind of like. It's like with watching a TV show. It's like if I don't know what I'm watching, I'll just be putting on random shit and I get all over the place, you know. Like so that's what I learned recently. Where like I just gotta like do shit. Mm-hmm. So like Club Sensos, that's like something that like I want to do and something that I've been wanting to do. Yeah. But I'm also kind of making myself do it in the sense of like you're gonna do it, dude. Like you know you told people you're having them over. Like you can't run away from it.
Are you solely doing that in person, or are we gonna do it online?
I want to move it to online, but like kind of first I just want to try out in person, see how it works. So here I'm like going all over the place, but let me go back to I was in LA. I took her to she wanted to do a casino. She loved gambling, and I was like, all right, fuck, like I'll drive you on a Saturday, you know. I was all salty because I'm like, man, I should be partying, you know. I should be getting lit with my friends. I'm taking this lady, you know, like she's all sick and shit to the casino. And so we go, and she would never let me play music in the car. Like that was her like rule. Like you can't play music in the car. But that night she let me play it. Like she was like, yeah, play whatever you want. Oh. So I was like playing like Brockhampton, all this and all that.
You're putting her on.
Yeah, and then I put that song, "No Mal Que Dure," because I was like, hey, like you know, like I listen to Spanish music too. You don't know, you know, like because we weren't like that. You know, we weren't close. But I was like, hey, I love this song. And in that song, you know, it talks about like you know, like "No Mal Que Dure" and like you know, like being different and it's okay and then like essentially saying there's like a line at the end where he goes PRI, like the Mexican party, like the political party, PRI, PRI, chinga tu madre, like he's like fuck you guys. So it was a cool moment, and then I remember that I remember listening to that song vividly, talking with her, going to the casino, like you know watching her play. I played a little bit. I fucking lost all my money in like 30 minutes. And so
I hate casinos.
Hate it. So I was just kind of like chilling there with my mom and stuff. And it was a cool memory. We talked about stuff. She asked me like, you know, graduation was coming up. She's like, what do you think you're going to do? And I was like, oh, like, you know, I'm working for the startup. I think I'm going to, you know. Yeah. And she was like, wow. Like, I told her like how much I was thinking I was going to make. And she was like, wow, like that's more than I've ever made in my life or whatever. And I was like, that's crazy. Like this, like kind of like me coming out. Yeah, like little things like that. Like I'm glad we got to talk about like that stuff because she didn't see like where I'm at now. Like she'd be like, holy fuck, you know, like that's the guy, you know. But anyway, and then the meaning of the song, like I'm kind of blanking on a lot of the lyrics right now. But like the beginning part is like about like you know you're it's okay to be different. It's okay, you know, they're all sheep. And I think for me, and this might be controversial, but I think being Mexican at UCSB was a little different, or like I don't know, cause my family's not that close, and we weren't all like super close, and I feel like a lot of Mexican families are like they're super close and they're super like together, and like that wasn't me. So for me, it's like I'm always jumping around. I like being in all groups, you know, like fuck it, like I like being here, I like being there. I love being with brown people. I love being with white people, and I like I like talking about soccer. I like talking about music. I like talking about Spanish music. I like talking about fucking rock and roll. Like I like everything, you know.
Right,
like you can't put me in a bucket, you know.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the Mexican people in UCSB, it was very like this was their thing, you know.
You were
like,
Mexican.
You were, and that's exactly. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I always felt alienated of that because of that. Because I always felt like, am I like an Uncle Tom? I'm like, no, because I'm not like saying fuck Mexico or like fuck being Mexican. Like I love it, you know. Like I love the culture. I love that identity or part of me.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was just their thing. Like
it's like a personality.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's so. And I remember I told this to my mom once because like I wouldn't really. We wouldn't really talk about shit, but like I remember I told her once, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm Mexican enough, and like, bro, I probably know better Spanish. I mean, I know Spanish doesn't define your Mexican, but I'm like, I probably know better Spanish than them. I probably listen to more Spanish bands than they do.
Yeah.
I probably know more about the history. I probably, I love the game, like I love everything about it, but I don't feel as Mexican as them, because then they'd be like in groups and like. And this is not talking shit to anyone. Like this is just more of like.
But I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like I just felt alien. I always felt like they always kind of looked at me like differently, and I'm like, so.
Yeah.
But then she told me that she's like, oh, they're just sheep. Like don't. Yeah. She was like, don't worry about it. Like they can't think like, and I don't think it was a diss to them. It's just more of like this idea of like some people like they like to think collectively in that sense.
They want to belong.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I think for me, like I was trying to belong, but I didn't want to be like. I didn't want to belong like that,
Yeah.
I want to belong as myself,
You had your own. Honestly, that's something that I didn't see till after college, where like, even in college, I was kind of like around because of film shit and like all the like Latinx shit and stuff. But yeah, like I think you hit something really important where like, it does become almost like a club, and like. It's weird. Like this is something I've been thinking about. To me, it kind of feels like, like, sure, like historically there has been like oppression, towards like minorities.
Wait, watch it. Trigger warning. You're about to go in. Like.
I'm having raw thoughts. Like whatever. I think like there has been that repression, and I think that people often want to like. Take that power back or have a sense of like not being a part of this like minority historically like or the way that some people will like respond to that information is by creating this like almost gatekeeping club where you kind of like there was a lot of racial tension all the time in that group. Specifically towards like white people. Like just people were different. And at the time I didn't know how to like feel for that. I know that there was for me like a sense of discomfort. And also that same alienation. And the way that I've seen it is like, okay, like I don't now the place that I'm at is like I don't agree with that, and I've been able to like see past almost like this guard of who you're supposed to be, and kind of just see like, oh no, like I can like these other John. I do listen to country, like I like fuck with like all this other stuff, these foods or whatever. Like one of my closest friends is a white guy, fucking love this guy, like he's my Garrett, if you will, But yeah, like. It's definitely been a learning curve, and it's not to say that none of like the history or the other stuff isn't important. It's just like my response to it isn't. I'm not gonna gatekeep. And it's like and like it was like because exactly that. I think you hit it. I was kind of like trying to go around that part, right? But I think it's like I feel like if you're at least from my perspective. If like I did anything that was different from what they were doing, it's like like you're like I always felt like shunned down because of that. Like or if I didn't think those same radical thoughts, and I know where they come from. Like I'm smart. Like I read books. I get it.
But I think that I just never thought that was gonna do anything, you know. And it's not like, and I get like everyone's entitled to their way of feeling and whatnot. But I think for me, like at that point in time, I was just confused because I thought like, oh, is there something wrong about me? Am I? Because I feel like for the most part, I try to like move pretty genuinely, and I think everyone that like knows me, like I don't have no secret agenda. Like I'm not trying to get anything from anyone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what it is, but at the same time, I don't know. It always and I think people still think that to this day, where like, you know, like they see me hang out with white people, they're like, oh, like he thinks he's white, or he's so that. It's like, no, bro, I just
not like that.
like I moved to Santa Barbara because I want to be able to walk and I wanted to chill, like the fucking air is chiller here. I hang out with people who want to hang out and who are nice to me and sweet to me. I don't hang out with shitty people and like just pretend, you know, like to you know, like be with them because, oh, I've known him for a long time, or
it's never a good reason.
No, and exactly. So like the people I hang out with is because they make me feel happy and make me feel good. But I don't like some people, like, because you know people be saying shit like that, especially like back home and shit. Like no one from my family, because we don't really talk like that. But like it's like they're like, oh yeah, you're with all these white people. I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with them, you know? Like, but I get where that comes from, because again, I didn't really grow up with white people. Like Max Callow, you know, was the from Step?
I think I remember.
Yeah, he was like my first white friend. Yeah. First white friend, right? And that was crazy. It was like, and so it's like, and it's wild because
first white friend.
Yeah, that was at least for me.
That's a real topic.
Yeah, and I told him too. I mean, if he sees this, right? I was like, yeah, you're like my first white friend, and you know, like, and I remember there was a point too where I was kind of a dick to like just someone because they were white, you know, and so now it's very much of like engagement, you know, like, and so. You know, I just try to keep the people who are nice to me and who share the same sort of ideals as me. I don't like to keep people around that like just keep people around. Like if we're not, you know, I'm trying to do this or I'm thinking of it this, but you're thinking kind of here. Like, that's fine.
Well, I think the difference is okay, but I think honestly that's for me why I had to get away from like that woke shit. Because it was like gatekeeping and controlling and all that stuff.
Yeah, bro. And then you question yourself.
Yeah, you blame yourself.
You do any little thing, and it's like, I kind of what you're saying. And I want to reiterate. Like I get where it comes from. Yeah. Like it's not like wrong, you know.
It's
like
just
it's
a
valid.
Response.
It's a response, but it I don't know. It had me questioning myself. It had me fucking like, you know, like I know I'm a good person, but I know I'm a good person. Period. But I also know that it doesn't stop there. Like, you can always be better. But it made me feel like you're a bad person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, like, it's like, what the fuck?
Some of my first songs, when I was working with different producers, they would all send me, like, Latino songs. You know? Like, guitar and, like, and I was like, I would hear it, and that's where I started to feel that discomfort.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want me to fucking rap in Spanish too? Like, you know, like, I'm not fucking Bad Bunny. I hate Bad Bunny comparisons. Like, it's so annoying. But I had a lot of that in the beginning, and I think that, like, being okay with just, like, people who, like, just are good people, you know, just fucking whoever, I don't care, spilled into the music. Where it was like, that's part of the reason why I didn't even want to do, like, just one kind of genre. Yeah. It was like, nah, like, I'm aware that it's not just one thing, you know, and so it was weird because I had to give myself permission to try other things and not limit myself to like rap, you know, and even before rap, like singing in Spanish, bro.
Remember that like Playboy Cardi type song you had?
Which one?
It was like, bro, dude, I'm blanking out right now.
It ain't been the same. Something like that.
No, it was. You had, dude, some of the songs where you just blast them every fucking day on a loop, and like they were. If I hear it, like I'm gonna know it. Like, but no. My point is, like getting put in a box is fucking annoying, you know.
It is annoying,
and it's like the whole idea of a box even existing. It's like, did you listen to the Neil deGrasse Tyson, where like he talks about like gender, he talks about sexuality, it's a spectrum.
I haven't heard him talk about that at all. But I haven't looked at any of those episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. I've seen him as a guest talk about space.
Oh, okay. So, one of the things he's really on right now is about, like, gender and sexuality and how it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And the way he put it, like I was able to really digest it, and it's, like, super easy. And it's, like, he makes, like, a really, like, good point where it's, like, colors, for example, they're on a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But because we're fucking stupid, we say this is blue, this is red, this is, you know. So because, but it's not. We just define that as that.
Yeah.
But it's a spectrum. It could, you know, it's. But because we're like dumb and lazy, we like putting things in boxes.
Yeah.
So same thing with sexuality, where it's like, and gender, we're like, oh, it's a guy, it's a girl. But it's like, no, like there's so, it's a spectrum. It could be a lot. You could be masculine, feminine, whatever. And
you yesterday.
but anyway, like, bro, I was not big shit, bro. I was chilling. Hey, shout out Pride Month though.
Shout out Pride Month.
But like, it's the same thing with like being a human. You know, I think it's all on a spectrum, and so I don't know. It's not something that's bugging me, and it's not something that someone said, and like that's why it's ticking me off. I think it's something in general. But that song is what reminds me of that, right? Like kind of like, and also like no hay mal que dure, like you know, like when shit gets hard, and shit always gets hard. Life is like that. You know, it reminds me, you know, it's gonna end. It's gonna, you know, it's not gonna be forever.
Pain is temporary.
Yeah. And so that song reminds me of that. Reminds me of the moment with my mom. Reminds me of like the identity piece of like. I don't know. I feel like I'm different, and like I'm different. I'm not like the other guy, but like I feel like fucking Julia Casablanca's knockoff. No, but it reminds me that like you know it's that it's gonna be alright. I'm gonna be okay, and so that's essentially kind of so. Yeah, that was the two parts: the story with her in the casino, and then what the song means.
I love that you started this club.
So we did so Club Santos put in here.
And is it actually Club?
Club, yeah. Because first it was Club, and then like I've been saying Club a lot. I'm like I like that better. It's like Club. So Club Santos, and so then everyone had their like different stories.
Same song? Or?
No, different songs. Oh. So and it was like random ones too. So like there was like. There was like a, the L'Impatrice. You know L'Impatrice? No. You know L'Impatrice? Yeah. They're like this French band. They're really good. I think you like them. Yeah. They're like, and then there was like Daft Punk, and there was like.
So everyone brings their own song?
So the way I set it up was like I told them like, hey, like this is how it could go down. Because the way I see Club Santos is kind of, again, like a fluid thing. You know, I don't want to put it in a box. You know.
Yeah.
Where. It could be a day where we come in and we each share a song. And I really like that, and I kind of want to do that for a bit until we kind of get over it. But we all share a song, we talk about why it's important, then we listen to it together, like, and then we like kind of like, oh, like that's cool, it's a cool guitar part, or like, oh, that transition or that tempo, that you know, whatever. And then I was like, the other thing we could do is like we could listen to like an album together and then talk about it. We could listen to a song that's like super famous. But we just never heard it, and like we talk about it, you know.
That's cool,
So stuff like that, and like it just, and we're like, hey, we're gonna focus on this artist. It's like listen to this artist type of thing. Yeah. So it make it super fluid and super open too. Like anyone's welcome. Yeah. My whole thing is just being respectful. Yeah. And what was cool, like, cause you know I fuck around, I'm a joker and everything. Yeah. It like I never felt like when I did make jokes, it was like it was like funny, like we all laughed. But everyone was super respectful too, you know, like, and we were all really engaged. I was scared that like people were gonna be like, I don't give a fuck, or they're gonna be on the phone. Yeah. But everyone was really engaged, like talking about this, or like I remember this about that, or I have an experience kind of similar to this song with that, you know. And so it was so sick, and it was like 5 of us. We each did like 2 songs.
Oh, nice.
So we went like a round robin, and it was fun, man. And like I want to do it again. Maybe this Sunday if I come back from SF.
I wish it was. Yeah. Was Sunday?
Yeah,
if
maybe.
you do it Sunday, I'll come.
Okay, are you? Would you stay? You could, and then just leave Monday. Or are you gonna leave that Sunday?
I would still have to leave Sunday because Monday's our busiest day for work. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But wait, you're not Juneteenth off? No, so that's sick. And then like I ideally maybe like in the long term, I want something online. But what I did, one thing I did, because it's kind of in steps, and this is kind of bringing it back to like the whole paralysis thing. I just wanted to like, get it out. Figure out how to do it. Like I created like a little message. I think I made like a little post on my Insta. I created that with ChatGPT, bro.
Dude, that's a whole other.
ChatGPT. I fuck with it. Do you fuck with it?
I fuck with it.
It's so like I use it for work all the time. Like I've been telling everyone, and I'm not like, you know how people are like with Bitcoin or like crypto,
Yeah.
like, and I feel like AI is getting kind of there. But what I remember is like you were the one who taught me about AI. Like you were talking, like you were like, bro, you gotta get on it, bro. Like you can't miss the train. And I was like, oh, man, right? And like now I'm
now
barely.
it's like a pandemic almost. Like I feel like everywhere I look, it's AI. You know, and I'm fucking fascinated by the topic.
Yeah.
First, there was a lot of like anxiety and fear, you know, because I was like, my job, my art, you know, and then I listened to Google X, like I think the CEO, he stepped down because
for Bard, right? Because it was like too powerful or some bullshit.
Yeah, it was like he didn't agree with the ethics, and he and this other podcaster put out like an emergency podcast about AI.
Yeah.
And he's like the one that was kind of like leading that whole thing. And he's like, in the next few years, we're going to have in the next 2 years, massive job loss. And he's like, the first people who will be okay for a while are the people who are using AI, you know, to still get their work done and at a much faster pace than the other people. He's like, it's just like economics. Like, one guy's gonna be willing to do the work of like 10 people if he can use AI to like, you know, cut a bunch of shortcuts or whatever. And he's like, but at some point, we'll really have to redefine how we see work. And then he was like, the way that we're going to restructure like our society is going to be based off of like learning what are the new jobs, you know. And like it's really weird because I fully believe it's going to happen, hearing this guy who was behind it, you know. And he was like talking about how like we should actually love it and like how we should treat it respectfully because it's kind of like a child right now, but like at some point it won't be. It'll be like fully developed and just equipped with information that like was unknown to like, you know, most of like human history. And then it's kind of scary. He's like, I don't think that we'll come to the place where it'll like kill us or, you know. He's like, what's more likely to happen is someone with bad intentions learns how to use it with bad intentions, you know, and that's like that could cause something very dramatic and harsh, you know, to the world. But I don't know. One thing though I am excited about, I think I talked about it in the last podcast, but they recently did like they put people into an MRI scan, and the people who were in there, they had like whatever information the MRI machine was like collecting, they allowed AI to have access to that information, and based off of what they were thinking, the AI could recreate what they were seeing because they're showing them a video, right? These people are looking at this video from the machine. The AI can only have access to like the MRI brain waves.
Yeah.
And from that scan, it could recreate the video or the photo they were looking at. And I was like, dude, like
that's scary.
I just thought about it in terms of dreams. I was like, we'll be able to see our dreams.
Oh, I mean, like that's sick. I think in the same sort of note, I think AI is. Before I was just kind of indifferent. I was like, whatever. But then I wasn't depressed anymore, and I was like, oh shit, like I gotta step up because like like this shit's gonna catch up to like. So I've been telling all my nieces, like my younger nieces, I'm like, get on ChatGPT, like
right now.
Even if it's like just fucking around, but like learn, like be acquainted with it, because then one day you might have something you might need it for, and like you can test it out or whatever, right? Like, and like this shit, it's only gonna get better, and it's gonna fuck a lot of people. And I interned for the National Education Association in DC, so it's the largest teachers union in the country. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that like I did like a little research paper on like technology and how it affects like the labor force. Okay. And essentially like what we learned is that what I learned I guess is that technology always usually like.
Okay. Sorry, keep going.
What's it called?
Technology affecting the workforce.
Yeah, and what we learned throughout time is, you know, like since the Industrial Revolution, it's like I'm talking like I'm a fucking expert. So someone's gonna quote this on their like paper. Yeah, that's from this podcast, DREAMCORE, like, you know, wholesome. But anyway, like essentially how like technology has an effect on like on labor, like in but it usually supports it rather than like takes jobs away.
Yeah.
But for AI, I don't know, cause that shit's smart.
Yeah.
Cause usually like, you know, you'll get like some like a calculator and it's like, oh, sick, but you still need someone to fucking put the numbers, you know. But with this shit, like you don't need that person. You don't need that anymore, dude. And so this is like, yeah, it's like a whole different thing. Like it's, I don't think you can even compare like past technology to AI, because past technology, I don't know, like AI is like it's just self-sufficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, it's scary in that sense, but I think adoption. Like we need to start adopting. So like creating more resources for people. Like think about it. Like if we're kind of somehow know a little bit, and you know, imagine the people like who aren't in our positions, or who, you know, don't have the time to, like, you know, focus on that. We're like working, like, you know, like they're gonna get fucked, or like at least like it's a lot, you know. Yeah. So
you hear that Texas, I think just opened the first fully automatic McDonald's. Fully, like you go through the drive-thru, the machines make your burger.
Damn.
Like
that's wild. Yeah.
All computers. That's crazy, right? Like that is an industry that can die. Yeah. A lot of industries will die. Like my friend, she used to work at Microsoft like a few months ago, and she was telling me then that they're encouraging, and not encouraging, they're making their employees all use AI to respond to emails, to like sum up meeting notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, we have all this extra time now, you know, and it's like, I think one reason why I do like what's happening is because, like, on a philosophical level, we have like an opportunity to almost like redefine our purpose for being alive. You know, like for all human history, it's been like survive. Mm-hmm. You know, make a society that can function and like keep us all afloat. Yeah. And we like, at least in the U.S., we like pretty much hit that point already, and a lot more. You know, so in this new place where like, if there is all these layoffs and all this extra time, like the Google guy was also saying like, oh, like there'll probably be like a check, kind of like the COVID check, that because of the amount of layoffs, like per, you know, person or whatever. But in this weird way, we will get to almost redefine why we're here. And personally, I think we're like in a renaissance of like art, just because of the AI stuff. Like it has like flooded everything.
Michelangelo, ChatGPT.
Yeah. Like it's like, I mean, you look at social media, everyone's a creative, everyone has a brand, everyone has like a, you know, color scheme or whatever. Like it's a
fucking thing. Everyone's Wes Anderson now.
Everyone's Wes Anderson. Everyone's a podcaster.
Yeah, it's a fucking podcast. No, and like like I think it's cool as fuck, because, you know, it's like it is a bit overwhelming, and it like.
How?
Well, because there's just so much content out there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And or like content, and just like also like, because I think of it from like in a music sense too. I'm like, there's so much fucking music, and like
you should hear an AI song on the
don't
tell them.
Oh.
In the club.
In the club.
Yeah. Don't tell them it's an AI song. Be like, hey, you guys heard this Kurt Cobain song?
Play it. No, because I shared with someone like that like Paul McCartney song with that was crazy, dude. Like and so like even like I mean. I think we talked about this, but like Paul McCartney and like there's gonna be like one more Beatles song.
I heard.
And essentially they're taking like a John Lennon recording, and they're like using AI to like clean it up, to like get the like the master vocals and like the guitar or whatever, and like be able to like just fucking
create a whole new song.
Squeeze the fuck out of that shit at the highest quality level. And so that's sick. But it's like it's just, I think it's cool. And at the end of the day, we're all gonna die, and so you know we're only like our only, like, we're just our last engagements. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm all for it, but it is overwhelming. And I guess you as an artist, like, what are your thoughts on because like there's no good art, there's no bad art.
Yeah.
But how would you differentiate, or like, how would you say like this is art from someone that like truly and deeply like felt this?
Yeah.
And then this is art from someone that like they just click,
Yeah.
generate.
I have
Which
three
go ahead.
feelings-
Yeah.
I have 3 feelings about that.
Okay.
What are they down? There's gonna be a bigger appreciation for art that was made by a person. The same way that
Oh, like handmade products and shit like that.
exactly
Like tortillas.
niche. Like AI can create new stuff, and I've seen it. And actually, the cover of this podcast is made by AI.
Really?
Yeah, like when I sent you, like the little monkey thing in the center.
You didn't send it to me.
Oh, okay, I'll show you.
That's your other bitch, bro.
But anyway, so there'll be like a bigger appreciation for things that are like that have that human touch to it.
And I guess how would you like tell the difference if AI is gonna get smarter?
I don't think I care about the difference because
Oh.
I think that if you like art and you like what you're looking at, that's it. Like it's not that deep, I think as people, we have like a tendency to try and like see the meaning, but I think what that really is us projecting our own emotional like subconscious state onto something. Like especially if you look at abstract things, you'll find that like the abstract thing that you like elicits like an emotion from you, but what you're really doing is a projection. Right?
Oh!
Yeah. It's
cut this, clip this. That was great.
What, like, when you see, what are those, like, the test, what's it called? It's like...
Oh, like the silhouettes, and you're like, what is this? And it's
yeah. Whatever
butterfly, and it's like a butt or...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that is, like, a direct example, I think, of how it works. Like, we're just projecting.
That's wild,
That's how we connect to shit.
I never thought about it like that.
And that's kind of how... That's actually part of why my art can be very abstract and not really like a story, is because I want people to project. I want people to use that to their own interpretation without giving like my meaning into it,
Yeah.
But, so, it doesn't matter if it's made by AI or a human. If you like it, you like it. If you like it, you'll probably buy it, I think what we should be wary about is like...
Wary counter.
What we should be like, I guess, concerned with is how it's used commercially, because when was the last time you saw a commercial and you were like, man, that's so artistic,
I mean, I have a different projection on commercials. Like they ground me because they make me feel like
whoa, yeah, we're different.
Yeah, they make me feel like a part of the world.
Okay.
So sometimes I do like watching shit with commercials or ads.
Whoa.
Because it's like, oh, this is what's going on right now. Like this is what some dude or some lady or someday like paid millions of dollars to put this in front of
your
me.
face.
Yeah, and this is a product that like or whatever,
Hearing you say that, my perspective was like, oh, I feel like they're just trying to trick me to like sell this. But that's okay. Like that's what they're
like that's part of. I think we all trick each other into doing things. Hey,
clip that shit. Gotcha. The fucking
like
guy walked
to
through
catch
the
a
door.
predator.
That's how we did it.
No, but I think you kind of know what. Damn, my voice is shot, huh? I low key, fucking an hour into the podcast, bro. You
got that boiling moment.
But Robert Kennedy Jr. Fucking, what did you say? Speaking garbage can.
I don't know, something like that.
Wait, what we're talking about?
Yeah, well, okay. So those are my 2 perspectives. If you like it, you'll probably buy it. It's AI.
And projection.
Human-made stuff will have like a lot more value. And then there's like the last part of it where it's like the redefining, So when I said like we have a chance to redefine why we're here, I think what we're gonna see probably through AI and through more people just having that ability to express is like a surplus of reactions to AI, So and almost like not just AI but like on a deeper emotional level, like people questioning why they're here. Because the way I see it, it'll be like another recession. Like I'm talking like Dust Bowl, where like out, the U.S. like when they had the dust storms and all that.
Yeah.
After that, there was like a surplus of art because of the recession combined with that like tragedy.
Yeah.
You'll find that in a lot of times in human history when there is like a tragedy, after there's like a moment of uprising, like fiction stories and like sci-fi, and it's really people escaping.
Yeah.
But they're also projecting like their own meanings into like coping. It's like a way of coping with like a hard time, and I think AI will put us in a very hard time. I think a lot of people are going to lose jobs, but I think that a lot of people are also going to be able to express how they feel through AI, and in a way that I don't think any perspective will be more valued than another. I'm more excited to see how we redefine why we're here.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm doing, at least also, in my art, is like I'm constantly asking myself, why am I here? Like what the fuck is
just
happening? Yeah, like is this it? This is what I like. Isn't it wild? Like millions of years of human history, or however long we are, and we're born in this moment where like we low-key have everything. We don't really have to survive. You can go across the street and get what you need and come back and just be like lazy ass and just watch TV if you want.
Yeah.
Like it was weird. I had to see my own like depressive low point last year or 2 years ago, whatever.
You're like 10 years ago, like a week ago.
I had to see it and understand that I was actually in a place of like extreme luxury by feeling sad, because
I see what you mean.
Like when I looked, if I were like an outsider looking at myself in that moment, I'm laying down, I'm eating, I'm having a lot of sugar, like I'm watching TV shows, I'm playing video games. Yeah, like this dude's just having a good time.
Yeah.
And but I also think it's a privilege because like coming from like parents who were like always like low income and working class, like they never had the luxury of experiencing depression.
Or like that, or like fucking sitting and doing a podcast, like.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm like, oh like, my god.
If they saw us right now, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it spilled over because their whole life, their concern for me and my brother, like being like the oldest, was how are we going to survive? Like what were we gonna do that was gonna make money?
Yeah.
And
it's valid,
Yeah, but I think that was their personal response to not having that ever in their life. And I hit that point where like I was relaxing, like I wasn't struggling, but I could like.
You had a secretary? That was crazy.
I had a secretary for a minute, bro. And I'm in this place now where like we're just kind of having fun.
Yeah. We're out here trying to function.
It's weird to me, but I don't know. That's what I think AI will kind of cause. And
I get what you mean. I think because like the scary part is like if the people in charge, the man, he's like, oh, you have more time. You have more time because AI will now do this, and like like
productivity.
Like it just never ends, But like in an ideal world, I think it does gives us our time back, and then we're able to do like the shit that we actually want to do.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's just a lot of layers to that, like the AI, and then the privilege of being here and where we're at, and also understanding kind of like the, there's like sad, like just because like you said, like someone saw you from outside, they'd be like, oh, this guy's living a pretty good life.
Yeah.
But then it's also not about like it's also that like underlying part, like the internal one, where you can't really. It's not something
It's not easy.
It's not something you can run through an MRI machine and like have it visualized.
Yeah.
Like it's like sometimes you just feel like garbage and like it's okay,
And a machine can't tell you why.
And a machine can't tell you why, and like and even like your own your situation, like oh you have a good job and your rent's paid and all that, and you still feel like that. Like it's like I don't know. I think that's something that none of us have the answer. We've had maybe drugs, but no, like it's like no. But I think I'm on that quest too of like trying to understand that part because I know the privilege.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'd be like, damn, bro, like I've been making this much money, like
It's too much money in the world.
Well, like yeah, and it's like well, like more than in the sense of like damn, like I never thought this would be possible, and then I get really like emotional about it. I'm like, and then like, but then I'm also like, then why the fuck am I not happy? And it's like, well, because maybe you know X and Y and Z. So just been.
Can I say something about happiness?
No.
Because you've mentioned it a few times.
No, rescinded, declined.
Yeah, I'm say, and then I think it'll be after a good place to rap.
I forgot Daniel Caesar. No, I never want to rap, bro.
Cinnamon.
You know that the Zach Fox when he's in the booth.
Yeah.
I forgot to get a Daniel Caesar ticket at the bowl.
Oh, that was happening
right now.
There you go. Good.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like nothing happened, you know. It's but I had these ideas in projection counter, and I thought like it was gonna. I don't know. I had this.
Hope kills people. Anyway.
Yeah. Love.
I want to say about happiness.
Oh, happiness.
My little spiel.
Your spiel.
People chase it. People want it. People will do fucked up things to get it. People think it's a state that you achieve, and once you're there, like, people think that it's like once you have a set amount of things, once you have the insurance, the stability, the lifestyle, the house, the car, X, Y, and Z, whatever.
X, Y, and Z.
But happiness is, well, one, different from joy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Here's a distinction.
Let's go.
Happiness is like sadness. It's a fleeting moment.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but that's like the crazy part. Like when you're in a moment, and it requires you to actually like be present. You know, so you have to kind of work through like if you dissociate, like I would, or if you feel anxious and your mind goes somewhere else, or you feel anxiety or whatever. A lot of things can like pull you from the moment you're in right now. But the thing is like when you welcome yourself back into the moment, you open the doors and you're like, oh, this is where I am. And then you're here, then there's the part where you have to recognize the emotion in the present, right? So like now you're here again. You're back from like this anxiety.
I didn't even do homework right
Yeah.
now. It's like a math problem. Like you have 10 watermelons.
So you're back from the anxiety. You bark from.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
No, my bad. It's the intern.
You're back from the anxiety, the distracting dissociation, where
Yeah.
you're here in the moment. And then it's like, you gotta acknowledge the emotion you're feeling in the moment, right? It could be...
Fuck it. It's a riddle.
It could be sad. It could be happy. It could be good. It could be whatever it is. Then you have to recognize
what am I?
It's not... Let me get through. Then you have to recognize that... No!
It's like a red. Okay, go ahead. Run it back. You have to recognize.
Okay. You're here. You recognize the feeling.
Yes.
You accept the feeling for what it is. So if you don't accept it, you'll go away again through your dissociation. You accept the feeling, whatever it is. Sometimes the feeling is happiness. When you find yourself happy, like extract it like a sponge. Yeah, because you don't know when it's gonna come again.
Throw goat.
Like you don't. That's good. You'll never know when you'll find yourself in a genuinely happy moment.
Yeah.
Because who knows when it's
Yeah.
next. The same way, like when the sad moment comes, you're not gonna
extract it.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
And then when you're extracting, just be present. And who knows when it'll come again.
We should call this segment "Rules of Engagement Happiness."
I'll call it that.
Yeah. But no,
Wait.
But I was gonna say, like with happiness and joy, I don't think you finished that thought.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joy. So happiness is an outside force. You don't expect it. It happens to you, right?
Interesting.
That's like you come home and your roommate made you food. Oh, I'm happy.
Never.
Like, that sucks. you don't expect it and it happens to you. Somebody texts you didn't expect to, and it's
I
a cool
see.
text.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this made me happy. Like, created like a positive emotion in you. Someone calls you, you don't expect, you have a good conversation, Happiness happens to you. Joy is different. Joy you create, right? So joy is the good thing you do to the world without telling anybody, right? Because if you do something good to the world, but you use that experience to tell other people, that experience is ingenuine, I think, because it's more about building the way you're being perceived and building your person. Instead of real joy, the way you really feel it is you do that good thing to the world, and then you just live out the positive feeling of the thing you did.
What's your base? So that's interesting because, so for example, let's say you do a video and it makes you really happy, or and you really like it, right? And you release it to the world. Can that be joy? Because you created a video that you were really into.
Yes, because it's aligned.
Because the rules don't apply to me.
Yeah, it's because it's aligned with. Joy is about good intention.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, okay, I see. It's not necessarily you're not doing. I think a better way to phrase it, instead of saying that you're not doing it. You're not doing it for others. You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Joy is something that you do for the self, regardless of the external forces.
Exactly.
So if the self is I want to create this video and post it publicly and have other people see it, but that's for you because you okay.
The joy is about effort. You know, in life, you're choosing how you're going to use your energy every single day. You taught me that. Yeah, you did. And when you're using that effort, there has to be a trade-off. Yeah. I'm going to make food because I'm hungry, so I'm going to eat. There's that trade-off of wasting your time making food or whatever. Or I'm going to do this because it's going to give me this. So we're always in transactions, except for when you play out joy. When you play out joy, you're using energy to not benefit, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of just throwing yourself in the wind, and you're like, I'm going to do this thing just because I know in my heart, there's a moral or it's just good reason to do it.
Yeah.
And the benefit of joy is the feeling feels rich. Mm-hmm. The feeling of doing something you didn't have to for somebody else, for their benefit, not even you have nothing to do with it. That's I can't do that.
That's a good way to put it, because I feel like that's with Club Santos.
Yeah.
That's that's if I could articulate it in one way, it's my attempt at joy. You know what I mean?
Because you're creating that momentum.
Right? Yeah. And it's cool because there's a song by The Strokes. It's called "Thread of Joy."
Yeah.
And then there's a line in it that I really like where he does it really good. I'm not gonna try, but essentially he says, "For the first time in my life, I'm gonna get myself right." And so again, it's that self, me, I wanna do this for myself, you know what I mean, and I think that's kind of where I am, this year, where I feel the past 3 years I've been in weird
slump,
in a slump. But my slumps are, I'm different, Where my slumps are I still be doing I'm still kind of, but I feel I haven't experienced joy. If I see, I've been happy in moments, but I think a lot I've been in relationships that I feel I was focusing more on them than myself, and it's nothing against them. I think it's more on we cut it before.
No, yeah.
And I think it's more on me, I think I just needed I needed to what Drake said. I needed to let go of us to see what I could do.
Feel no way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I think this, if I could put 2023 into it'd be my attempt at joy, or me trying to reach joy.
So I love this because when you start to live your life out of that joy, where you're going out of your way to create this positive energy in the world to exist, passion clearly translates into it's you can see the future now.
Yeah.
With Club Santos, it might be like little passion projects, but I suspect there's a part of you that can see this growing into something maybe you didn't expect before.
Yeah, and I think that, but I think you were kind of like pretensing it like better, like in the sense of it's like a little passion project, but it's also kind of the way I want to go about things in terms of like with intention, with vulnerability. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm always pretty vulnerable and pretty intentional too.
Yeah.
But like now doing it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I hang out with someone or when I'm with a friend, like being hey, like I love you. You know, like and I think I do that a lot. But
you do, and you're good at it.
And I doing more. That's why like I'm always taking pictures of like my friends. I fucking like love them. We're like taking little videos and I think. I guess continuing because that's my happiness, like my friends and like those moments. But I think like going towards it from a joy aspect, where it's like I wanted to do something with like a music sharing group and whatever, and that brings me joy because it's for myself.
Yes.
Whereas like and continuing on that end, like like I want to run more or whatever, then doing that because it brings me joy, or I want to write more or whatever, like doing that because that brings me joy. So. Yeah, so I think that's a cool. You taught me like you always teach me shit by the way, like but like the happiness and joy piece, that was a good one. I'm just kidding. You taught me another thing prior to this, but I'm like blanking out right now.
That's cool.
But
so for me, like I think the joy in my life has always been creating art, like putting that effort into something. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just doing it anyway. And it was interesting because for like when I started doing music, and remember when I went through that era, I was like, I'm not filming for nobody no more. Like it's just me now. I hold to that now still. But what was really happening in my head was for 4+ years of my life, I was Santiago's gallery out of survival. Like immigrant, can't get a job, whatever. So I was like almost pivoted in this corner to like make a fucking business and make it work, or I don't know how I was gonna eat. So being put in this corner, I like did it, but I felt like I pretended to have like a passion for it, and there was like a passion in there to create video and photography, but the passion died down quickly because it wasn't like I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do, and I didn't know it. I was doing it as survival, lying to myself that it was like my dream, to be this film director or whatever. But I was really like doing a commercial or shooting like a wedding or something, but those things didn't really align with what I really wanted to do, just create whatever was in my fucking head. And I think when I like started like trying music out, I think that's what kind of led to the shift inside of me, where I was like, oh, I really enjoy this, and then it clicked in my head. I have like the talent to be able to like support my music, with visuals and photography and all that good stuff. And in that moment, like this passion sparked in me that I had never experienced before, where I could start to see the future, and but not from a place of expectation. Like I don't expect anything out of the future. What I mean by that, the future is I know me like have like such a passion for like this thing that I do, that it's creating my intention day to day.
Exactly. In that sense. So it's like I guess what you mean by like seeing the future. It's like you just have more awareness, and it's like an awareness that like a third eye type of shit. But like for the self, where
because
it's
you're enjoying it. You're like, I want to do this again.
Exactly.
Again,
and it could be in different like ways. Again, like to talk about like the spectrum and boxes and shit. It could be anything, but it's this idea of like this feeling or this like action that's based off, like that, like you want to do this because you know what I mean?
It's almost like a drug.
It kind of,
I just want to do it again. I'm sure you want to have your club thing, as frequently as you could.
And I think just like doing, I think like that, and also just doing shit that like that I want to do. You know what I mean? I think one of the things that we've been doing a lot, not lately because it's fucking gloomy, but beach days. Like this group is so cool. Like we'll be like, hey, let's go to the beach and we'll camp out. We just fucking lay down there and like I love that. Just fucking existing on the beach, you know. And it's like shit that like you know when we were in Santa Barbara, like I feel like I always took for granted, or I was always really busy too.
Yeah,
and so now it's like now that I have time and it's like you know like oh do you want to go on a hike? Do you want to go here? Do you want to like I just want to lay on the beach, like just fucking just exist there, you know, like not have anything planned, or whatever. Like it's so fucking beautiful. So just being more like, and I think moving here like really helped me with that because I think in LA I don't think I'd be able to do little things like this or it's just you know so
it's hard.
It's so hard.
Fucking ugly.
Yeah, and then like when I was there, like I was just kind of ending things with someone, and so it was just a lot. It was I one thing I want future self is like not to get so fucking caught up with people, like because in the same way like as you, I'm kind of a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And when I'm like I find someone that like enjoys kind of my presence and like I always just want to please them particularly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna give her
and you almost disappear in that.
And I almost kind of like lose myself in this idea of like you know like of being that person's person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like and like I you know I don't know I think I want like it's happy, it's fun, but I want to focus more on joy, you know, be a little selfish, and like you know be I don't know. But are you in love? Are you talking?
You said are you?
So what's
I'm not talking to nobody. Hey, shade.
But single.
Fuck.
No. Wait, no. Like, if you are talking.
I'm not talking to nobody.
Damn.
But
when this gets released, like all these girls are gonna be like, what the fuck?
But bro,
I was sending you pictures, bro.
I feel like I'm at a like post my breakup. I out of an insecurity was trying to connect with as many people as
bars, yeah, I remember that.
yeah. Polyera. Do you
real quick? Do you think people are gonna like? Because when I listen to podcasts, I kind of have them in the background, and like, you think they're gonna like listen this far?
I don't know.
I know, but
I'm
like,
doing this for myself.
I know. Joy for joy. And that's what I love because I've been wanting to do something like this too.
Yeah.
But like, I really hope like if you hear this, you got this far. Text me. I got this far. And I'll bet you $5.
No way.
If you about it, yeah. Don't put any like.
I'm gonna put that in the clip and put that first. So that'll put our streaming up.
Yeah.
Yo.
These are marketing dollars, you know. No, I'm kidding. Like the first like 2 people who.
Yeah.
I'll Venmo you $5.
Okay, first 2 people, $5, and I'll put it in.
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
If you've seen this, if you're here, don't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone.
I'm not. I'm in dicks on my friends. Hey guys, if you make it.
Bro, like you get $3.
Send them your Venmo.
Just request.
Fuck it. Yeah. So I was like trying to seek out being with somebody, post breakup for a long time, and then I remember like one of the girls that I was with. I was like,
what's your name?
I was like, hey, look, I'm trying to be celibate. I'm trying to be celibate. She's like, why? And I was like, I just feel like I was like reflecting, I was like, I feel like I've been seeking out connecting with someone out of insecurity. But what that does is you connect with people who you don't really connect with. You know, like, you're kind of like in this chase mode. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I felt like I was trying to talk to everybody and their mother, dude. And, you know, I had to like get out of that mindset and putting on pause on my life and then asking myself, like, why am I like trying to talk to someone so like every day, you know, like what is this in me that this like codependency that's like imagine a single codependency where like you're always seeking out connection, you know? And I realized for me there was a part of myself that like I felt very uncomfortable with myself. Yeah. And so being alone meant I had to deal with myself. And I couldn't do that before. Like I couldn't just be still and do shit. And so that's also part of the reason why like I stopped like drinking and smoking in that moment. You know,
I was like, oh,
I came around.
I was like, yesterday was crazy.
You're like, that didn't seem like you yesterday. No, but like I had to put a pause on that, because I wanted to just like sit with the pain of being with myself, which is weird. Like,
Yeah, this is fucking.
because when I felt that discomfort, I would want to, drink or smoke or talk, connect, but it wasn't really connecting. And I was really forcing a lot of connections, and I think it was doing myself a disservice, and I wasn't being authentic, to who I am.
Just
Shout out.
Shout out the truth. Shout out.
Put a flag.
Put a bald eagle. Put a bald eagle green screen.
That's gonna be the fucking thumbnail. The military.
They said what about the military?
But yeah. So I kind of realized that I was doing that. Got off the dating apps.
Yeah.
And deleted the socials. Not the social number I don't have. But
we're trying to get married.
Deleted all that, and then I'm still dealing with that discomfort, but it's easier for me now.
Yeah.
Now when I feel it, and if I'm in the place to I'm not gonna be working, and if I feel I'm but if I'm in a moment where I feel it. Which is why I said you have to acknowledge it first and all that. Whatever.
The fucking Roosevelt
Yeah, literally.
The fucking recipe.
The recipe. When I feel it, then I'll literally just go to my bed and sit, and then just feel uncomfortable. It's weird, but it's helped me be more calm. I think with those experiences of pain, it has helped me just also redefine how I want to see connection, and I think that. I'm a traditional romance guy.
Old school monogamist.
And I would like the next person I connect with to be a real.
Your wife?
Not wife, but just a real authentic connection. Something that I feel deeply, kind of the joy aspect, where I want to go out of my way to be the best version of myself for that person, but also, more importantly, for myself.
Yeah.
So seeing out this equation, making sure that when I do connect with someone, I don't disappear because trying to please them.
Yeah. Bars. Okay.
So see myself in that equation.
Yeah.
Have that respect for myself.
But isn't it crazy? The people. We what's that stupid quote we are the love we think we deserve, some bullshit that.
Yeah.
No, but I think from what I know about your history, it's or my history too. It's we gravitate towards people who are struggling, and we gravitate towards people who aren't in a place and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Because we're all going through journeys, so it's not shitting on them.
Yeah.
But it's we gravitate towards people that aren't there, compared to the people who are there, and we're no, we don't want that. You know what I mean?
Okay, I actually was reflecting on that also.
Yeah.
And I don't really connect with people in that way anymore, because I like to,
last week.
I like to believe that someone is who they are, So if someone,
if someone's a fuck up that, you're a fuck up, or
no, dead ass,
oh, shit.
because
hot take.
It's not my responsibility,
Yeah.
And,
yeah. I guess yeah. Okay, go ahead.
But
sorry.
I'll tell you why. In the past, those are the connections that I would seek out, out of this insecurity to want to connect, and that put my mental health in a position that wasn't comfortable. And so I'm okay with not connecting with that person because I'm okay being single.
Okay.
I don't need to be with them.
Yeah.
And in the past it was I needed to. And then the other reason is that I was thinking about that too. I was okay, why in the past have I not been attracted to people who have a real connection with me and want to connect with me, but I'm attracted to people who don't want that. And I had to understand that, and it has to do with the same thing of me not liking myself.
Oh.
So
you want to you're they don't fuck with me, that's what I'm into.
Yeah, because it was an experience of pain.
Really? Oh, that's wow, really?
Yeah, and so I wasn't connecting with people who had a deep connection with me because a part of my brain was like, how could they want to connect with me? You know,
Okay.
I'm a fucked up person.
Yeah, that's like,
you know?
that's like a, yeah.
There was hatred in that, like, look, and I realized, like, why am I looking at myself at such a low, or even, like, when I liked somebody, I would have this thought or feeling that I was like, oh, I hope I'm enough for this person, you know? I hope that they like me. Yeah. But it was like on hope. That's why I said hope is a killer.
But yeah, I mean, but I would say, like, I mean, I don't know, I won't speak for you, but I feel like, because same thing, right? It's like, I gravitate towards people who don't want a connection. But, like, to be fair, those people, or those girls, just to be clarifying, they're sick as fuck.
Pride Month?
No, Pride Month. They're sick as fuck. Like, they were like, I don't think I've met girls like that before, and you know, and not to like romantic, not to fucking manic pixie dream girl that, you know? But like they're sick as fuck. So I think part of it was because they were sick as fuck, and like the way we connected was very genuine and like fun and like real. And I just think it's just more of like a time thing, and I hate the time thing. But it's okay. So this is one thing I learned. Well, not learned, but it's like, you know, if people. Like, if someone wants to make time for you, or, like, someone wants to, you know, when it's like, oh, it's a time thing, I'm not there yet. If they want to, like, it's a fucking choice, you know? It's like, they can choose to, I get not being in, like, you know, like a financial state, whatever, you know? But I think I was talking to my friend, shout out my friend Shannon.
Shout out Shannon.
Shannon Duncan. Huh?
Shannon.
Oh, that's how I know of Derufe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we're,
Shannon?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but like it's like no, like if she wanted to, she would. She would. Yeah. And I was like, I'm like, no, she's just confused right now. You know?
So you'll make excuses for that person.
Not excuses, but like I try to.
Forgiving.
It's like a forgive me.
I don't
like
know.
a fucking.
I'm bouncing.
Fucking Wordle.
Thesaurus right here.
Thesaurus. No, dismiss it. No. I think it's more like a and I still just haven't gotten it, and I don't know if I'll ever get it, and maybe I don't know, like I don't. Well, I guess when it happens, but from my experience, it's like it's always I meet these really cool, fun people who are like sick and like they really like me for me, which is like it's not like I have to pretend to be something I'm not. Which I love.
You've always been authentic to who you are.
Yeah, and like you know, some people fuck with it, some people don't, and like I think the girls that I had the pleasure, had the honor of like just getting to know closer, like they like it a lot, you know, and then but then it's like, okay, if you feel this way about me, like why not this, you know, or like
if you feel what way.
Like, if you're like, wow, like, you're great and all that.
Oh, stuff. Why don't they, like you in a romantic way?
Yeah, or, like, not, that seems very insulty, like, why don't you love me? No, it's like, I guess, it's always like there's always a fear of, like, oh, well, if we get in a relationship, then X and Y and Z. And I'm like, we're not even there yet. Like, one of my friends,
Wait, what do you mean? Tell me.
Like, one of my friends, I think,
let me
reset it?
Yeah, before.
Reset the...
Oh, fuck yeah, the battery died.
It's been dead?
Yeah.
We've been talking. Wait, what was the last piece?
It's still recording, so the thing.
Oh, damn, we're gonna go full audio.
Just put like an animation or some shit.
AI. Damn. Reload it.
There you go.
Damn.
We're rolling. I don't know, we'll find out later.
Clap. Okay, damn, at least I'm glad. Okay, so here, let me reset. Kind of in the same, like, in what you were saying about, like I've come to the end, like, now I'm only looking for genuine connections and that are, I guess, reciprocated to that level.
Yeah.
Like, well, fuck, seriously, I don't know, because dating's like a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
Like, because when you date someone, or, like, you're talking to someone, like, hooking, like, it's not like, oh, I want this girl to be my girlfriend, you know? It's like you're just kind of playing it by ear. You're both playing it by ear. And then, you know, you get feelings and all that. And
it's different for me, though.
Really?
Yeah, because I come from this insecurity thing.
Yeah.
Where that person that I do connect with, I do want to have, like, a partner.
Like, right away?
Almost.
Oh, you're like, kind of like a serial monogamous type.
Yeah, like, but not not like logically, like it's very emotional for me.
Okay, so it's like
there is a codependency.
Oh, so it's because you're like, oh, we connected. You're my girlfriend now.
That's how I would like it to be.
Or like how you like it to be.
Yeah.
And okay, I think for me, it's not necessarily. I mean,
you play it by ear.
I play it by ear, and I feel like it's kind of. I feel like I can connect with a lot of people. Like, again, because I'm different.
You're really poly though.
Yeah. no, but then like there's certain people that like something just clicks, and like I'm like damn, like I want to try, like let's test it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like oh like we can't do that right now, right? And I'm like cool, respect. Like I think we just need some space. Like like I can't like mess around with someone that like I have feelings for and I actually care about, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just kind of I can't. But then what ends up happening is they're like, oh no, but like I still want to do this. I'm like, but and so and then because like I kind of want to like keep it going or like I want to, you know, it's like oh fuck it, let's just do it.
How come?
It's fun. It's nice, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I don't know if it's this like how do you call it? Like what's the thing called? Like I don't think it's an insane word. The word is insane, but I'm gonna use it because I don't know. But like it's like this insane idea of like oh maybe like you know right now she doesn't want to, but we'll keep doing this and then she'll be down or like not down, but you know what I mean? Or like she'll change her mind.
Change.
Yeah, or like maybe she's like scared. And I get that, you know, it happens. But
I'll pause you real quick.
Yeah.
That's where I mean for me that I'll believe people where they're at. So if I don't feel that connection, I used to hope for change, like you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, I'm gonna believe that this person is being authentic in the way that they're connecting with me, and it's okay if in the future they change their mind. But right now, I'm gonna like seek out what I want. Like,
exactly. Yeah. But okay. So the thing is, like for me, like lately, it's happened with like the past 3 people. Yeah. It's like that happens, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, let's like chill out. Like, cause for me, like when I make connections, like deep connections, like, and especially like with people that I really care about, like to that extent, like it's kind of hard for me to like, oh, let's just go back to the way we were, you know? And like, so I need space, cause the way like
process
to just move on, you know?
Okay.
Cause even though we were nothing in a sense. Like,
in your head, there was something happening.
There was emotions and there was, you know, like feelings and words and all this stuff. And it maybe wasn't official, but it felt like it, you know? And so then it's like, well, I need space to kind of just like, you know, like remove myself from this and, you know, just think of a world without that person.
Yeah.
But it's like they always, not always, I don't want to say it like that, but I feel like, I don't think they're going to hear, but it's like, they always like, oh no, like say it, like you're fun. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've recently come to like I'm done. Like I just it sucks and I hate it because it's so fun, you know, and it's like, you know. But at the same time, it's just not sustainable and it kind of fucks with you and it's just a lot of like it's more of like happiness because it's like a fleeting moment where it's not necessarily joy. It doesn't bring me joy.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just overthinking everything.
Yeah.
I get like. I start having like expectations and shit, and I can't put that on anyone, you know.
The overthinking and expectations for me was a marker as to why this connection isn't worth it for me.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like you know, like we're not in a relationship, so you know we haven't set like an agreement, you know, of like hey, and so then I can't have these expectations, but then I also can't like invalidate my own feelings, you know. So. Walking away from stuff like that, and then more recently it was with someone that like we were I don't know nothing was really happening like nothing happened at all, but it was cool like I enjoyed their company and like hanging out and talking whatever, and then so I had this idea of like oh you know like we'll just keep doing this, something might happen, but I kind of knew she didn't really fuck with me like that, like I could kind of like tell. It's just. It's been a while since like I connected with someone like individually, and in that way where like I was like, this could go both ways. Like it's just a friendly thing, or like it could build up to something, and then you know as you know I got kind of and it's fair, and I appreciate that more.
Because clear communication. Most people don't ever say that.
Yeah, or like, and it's like no one owes anyone anything at the end of the day, right? Yeah. Oh shit, the outro mic. Imagine it hasn't been recording the whole time.
Okay.
It's like been like on the headphones.
Oh my god.
But no, and so but like I appreciate that more, and and you know like it's cool because like I don't know because like I feel like I'm not tired, but I'm not tired. Like I feel like I've lost a lot of like really cool people in my life.
Oh yeah.
For myself, like my own protection,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of sucks, but I don't regret it because it was fun. I learned a lot, but I think like kind of what you're saying, like from on my end now, I don't think I'm looking for anything that's transactional or like that's like passing.
Yeah.
And but so then it feels cool like having control of that in that sense, you know, just being able to like be intentional on it.
Yeah.
And, like kind of understanding what I want, what I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like
But she'll ruin you.
literally. And then I'm like, God, I'll never get there. Fucking
Cycle.
Fuck yeah. And then
Mac Miller circles.
honestly, bro, it, like ruins me. Like the songs like listen to.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of.
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? What's your love language?
Sending the pictures of both of his kids. It's a trope, but it sounds like you're more comfortable just like being by yourself and
yeah. Like I think in LA I was never because fucking it was especially in that house it was fucking daunting. But not here, like I could chill out, watch my shows, watch my concerts, you know, like go on a walk, go on a run, hang out with friends. Like I love it here, and I feel like I was fighting demons back in the day, like on a. I feel like I still have those days where like they're a little dark and whatnot, but I think when out in LA it was like more consistent, you know. It was like I feel like there was more dark days than like good days, you know. And so here I feel like there's more good days than dark days. So it's like you know it's trending.
So the balance is good here.
It's yeah, but and so I love having moved here, and I think this year it's like probably like the happiest of that I've been like me personally.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited for the future, kind of like what you're saying, because I kind of like have like more intentional, and like anything is possible, you know.
Yeah.
We might get married. We never know, you know. Like he's like, yo, help on the screen. But yeah, so it's like anything can happen, and so that's exciting, and meeting new people, and I just kind of like not like forcing anything, you know. Like people fuck with me, people fuck with me.
Shit happens, shit don't happen.
Bro. Yeah, for real.
Alright, I think this is a good place to wrap. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for the coffee.
Yeah.
Let people know where they can find you, and if you are thinking about having like an Instagram for this club, what that handle.
That you went all corporate, huh?
Yeah.
You're like,
so where can people find you and all that?
Shit. You guys, wait, is it still recording? I don't think it's recording.
Yeah, it is.
You can find me on Instagram.
Tell them, no.
You can find me on Instagram. I forget my handle. Oh, it's like J_. We'll put it on the comments right here. It's gonna
more
be here.
work for me.
Put it on this bottle, like where it's
and
put my address here too. And we're gonna put like someday as the closing song, like you know, like
copyright.
No copyright, or put like a jingle, like on an Oscar shit. You know, like in the Oscars, like they're giving a speech and the song comes on to like.
I'll put the ending song.
Yeah. Okay.
My song.
My song. Well, remember, this is my podcast. And then Club Santos. Stay tuned. It's really fun, and I'm excited to do more shit, and I'll keep you all in the loop with Santi as my Sherpa.
Bye everyone.